Jessica che è appena tornata in vita. What in the world? A dream?
いいえ、違います。
No, that is wrong.
ジェシカ様は
You
確かにお亡く
certainly
なり
did
になりま
pass
した。
away, Jessica-sama.
最後の瞬間の記
You
憶
should be well aware
よくご存知のはずだ。
of the memory of your final moments. It was burned into the back of Jessica's mind. For some reason, she remembered being thrown somewhere and that her head had been smashed by George's heel.
私は
Am I alive?
生きてるのか。
いいえ、死んでいます。
No, you are dead.
私の魔法でほんの
That
3
is merely being
それを先送り
postponed
にし
for
てい
a
るに過ぎ
scant
ません。
3 minutes with my magic. Ok, quindi non è stata riportata in vita come c'era stato precedentemente detto. Semplicemente è stato posticipata la sua morte.
3分が過ぎれば魔法
After
が
3
終わ
minutes, the
り
magic will end and you will return to being a tragic corpse with half of its head destroyed.
なんと。
死は残酷です。
Death is
多くの
brutal.
場合、
In most
心の
cases, you
整
aren't
理さえ
even given the
与え
time to ready your heart.
しかし私は
However,
ここ
I
ま
have
で検討
decided
した
to
あな
give
たを
you that
称え
time
その
in
時間を与える
recognition
ことに
of
し
your
ました。
valiant battle.
その3分間で
Use those 3 minutes to ensure that your lingering attachments to this world are well taken care of.
その3分で
But I could use the 3 minutes
お前
to
を
take you down
道
with
連れ
me.
にするという手もあるぜ。
But the power that had been burning inside Jessica's body was now completely lost. Jessica was aware of that herself. She was already dead.
それでは私はこれ
Well then, I will leave you now.
失礼いたしま
If you
す。
would excuse me.
楽しかったですよ、
It was
ジェ
fun,
シカ様。
Jessica-sama. Ronove turned his form into a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. Cosina, solo per ricordare una cosa che abbiamo constatato la volta scorsa, come Kumasawa è il vessel, diciamo, di Virgilia, Genji Ronoue è il vessel di Ronove, cosa che ci è stata confermata. All that remained was the sound of the wind and the rain and the figure of Jessica crouching down against the wall. Jessica realized after 3 minutes she probably really would revert to the corpse she had been. In those 3 minutes, was there anything she could do? She stood up and with a shaky gait took the phone that was on the desk. Oh, hello. Is that you, Jessica? Jessica. Was it? What is it? Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you hurt? I'll come help you right now.
いや、
No, it's too late.
もう遅いぜ。私さ、
I am already
も
dead,
う死んでるんだろ。
apparently. By the time you get here, I'll be
私
a
は
corpse with half of my head
頭を
spilled
半
out.
分ぶちまけた死体だよ。
Ah, damn that old man! Wait. Oh, wait right there. I'm coming right now.
聞けよ、バトラ。
Listen, Butler.
いいか、
Listen closely.
よく聞け。
Right?
幸田さんたちが
I know exactly why Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were so awkward talking about the guys who killed the six in the
影が悪い
time.
のか。あいつらな、
Those guys,
人間
they
じゃ
aren't
ねえんだぜ。
human. What? What are you talking
見
about?
ちまったんだ。仕方ねえだろ。
What do you want me to say, man? I freaking saw it,
あ
okay?
いつらさ
Those guys, they
ワープしたり
warp,
バリ
they
ア張って
set up barriers. All of that crap, you know?
どこの漫画だよ
Feels like some
Anime だよ。
manga or anime.
いや
Seriously,
マジで
can't
か
deal
なわ
with
ね
that.
えぜ最初からさ
It was never gonna happen.
戦うとか
Fighting them,
無理なんだよ
impossible.
バトラーが自慢してた
The headstand spear you guys were so proud of. You need something way better than that to deal with these guys. A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's forehead. George Neeson didn't make it either. Instant death. That was. The next test is yours, Butler. I wonder if your test will be the same as ours. Be careful and don't get it wrong. You mean the test?
違う
No,
敵は
don't get it wrong.
ど
And
うせ人間だと間違
I
える
think
の
the
よ
enemy is obviously gotta be human.
敵は人間
The
じゃない
enemy is not human.
恐ろしい
They're
魔法を
demons.
自在に扱
Can
える
wield terrifying magic at will.
悪魔なんだそこを
No
絶
matter
対に
what, don't get that wrong.
4時
Watch
し
yourself.
ろよ
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's mouth as well. The left half of her head started hurting. Jessica realized that she was about to return to the corpse she had been. 13 people die.
13人死ぬ
Golden Witch revives.
黄金の魔女が蘇る母さんたちが
Mom and the
殺
others,
さ
yeah,
れ
they
て6人
were the first 6.
これで第一
The
の番
first Twilight.
そして
And with George
私
Neeson
とジョー
and
ジ
me
兄さん
dead,
が死んで
that's
第
the
2の
second.
番あと5人殺
So
されれ
if
ば
just 5 more people
儀
are
式は
killed,
完成で
the ritual is gonna be
魔女
complete
が蘇るって
and
わ
the
けだ
witch will revive.
父さんたち
I hope Dad and the rest are
無事
safe.
だといいなもし無事じゃ
They
なかっ
aren't.
たお前をテス
The
トする
one
のは
who test you
復活したての
might be the newly
ベア
resurrected
トリーチェ
Beatrice
自身って
herself.
ことになるかもしれねえぜ
By now, Butler had no idea what Jessica was saying, but from her tone he realized that she knew she was about to die. So even though he didn't understand the situation, he urged her to hang on in there. I told
私
you,
はもう死
I'm
んでる
already dead. See ya.
じゃあなもう時間
Looks
み
like
た
my
いだ
time's up.
テスト
Good luck on your test.
頑張れよ
Jessica, non farmi piangere.
お前が当主に
I hope you can
なれると
become the head.
いいな
Jessica! Jessica! Hey, answer me! Butler's sorrowful voice could be heard from the dangling receiver. Crouching with her head against the adjacent wall, Jessica's head was half smashed. Where are we?
これは井戸なの
This
か
a well?
ここはどこなんだ
Where is this? Kyria stuck her face out of the well, and then Kraus showed himself too. When he noticed that they could see the back of the mansion beyond a grove of trees, Kraus realized more or less where they were. To think that there had been a hidden underground passage in a well all the way out here, and that it led to a hidden mansion.
老体にはやは
It's
り
really,
これは
it's
辛いです
really stuff on this old body.
普段は別の場所から
Ordinarily,
ちゃん
you
と
can
階
come
段で
to
上が
a
れるのです
different place with real stairs.
鍵さえ開けば
Provided you can unlock it.
南條先生
We have many questions I'd like to ask you about the layout of the place later, Dr. Manjo.
シャノ
Shannon, are you alright? Grab my hand. I'm okay. Kanon-kun, quickly! Kanon was the last, climbing up the ladder towards them in a shaft disguised as a well. It was probably quite deep. When he looked down for the first time, he realized how far he'd come up. Firing! Ecco. Bang. As Kanon was about to finally crawl out of the well a hole the size of a basketball opened in his chest. Everyone there looked through the hole in Kanon's chest to the scenery beyond. Kanon toppled backwards and was swallowed up into the depths of the well. Everyone, run for it! The Siester Sisters! They've locked on. We can't avoid them. Run! At least one of us survive! At that time, Kraus, Kyrie and Nanjo clearly saw a golden curve appear from the well and sew itself to the side of Shannon's head.
Shannon!
Head pierced. The three were perfect witnesses to everything, up to and including the opposite side of her head being blasted away into pulp. Shannon fell to her knees, blood gushing from both sides of her head, and flopped to the ground. They're after us! Run! We'll be killed! Run, 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 run! Nanjo had become paralyzed in fright by the manner of Shannon's death, and the Siester Sister would not miss their chance. Puttana, un massacro! A curve again appeared from the well and pierced through Nanjo's forehead, out of the back of his head in an instant, sewing through him. Thump. And so Nanjo expired. What on earth? Why? Where's the enemy attacking from? We're being sniped! Don't know from where. They have us completely in their sight. They escape into the mansion, blocked their line of sight. The two dashed into the back entrance of the mansion. Then, the instant Kraus tied the door shut behind him. A golden curve appeared for the fourth time, piercing Kraus from the back of his head and through his forehead, and smashing even his forehead to pieces. Kraus' body lurched over, fell down hard, and drew a neat radial pattern with the insides of his head. Kyrie ran wildly through the halfway, flew into some room and locked the door. But she couldn't imagine for a moment that this would save her life. She would probably die soon. This was apparently one of the guest rooms. At that moment, a phone on the side table caught Kyrie's eyes. After hanging up the call from Jessica, Butler was literally just about to dash out. In that instant, the phone rang again. Hello? Huh? Yes, Butler-kun. I got lucky. I managed to escape the dungeon somehow. It really was fortunate. Where are you? Is everyone alright? On our side, looks like Jessica and George Aniki are... Listen! I probably won't be alive for long. Then, right after she got the sudden feeling that the keyhole of the locked door might have glowed gold, a gold curved line drawing a helix, no, a golden sewing thread, infiltrated the room through there at an incredible speed and bore a hole into the floor by Kyrie's feet. Oh, that's rare. The enemy, who had sniped the other four, one after another with extraordinary skill, apparently really does have trouble shooting me between the eyes with a single shot while I'm all holed up in this room. But the next strike will probably hit. At this point, Kyrie finally remembered the initial massacre in the dining hall. That's right. This is what killed Rudolph and the rest, all 6 of them.
聞いてバトラ君
Listen, Butler,
私が見たことを
going to tell you
ありのまま話す
everything exactly as I saw it.
バトラ君は
I'm sure
きっ
you'll
と
think
私
that
の頭が
something's
どうに
gone
かなって
wrong
しま
with
った
my
んだろう
head.
と思うに違いないええ
In
思っ
fact,
てくれていい
it's
わ
alright for you to think that.
私だって
Even I
何
still
を見た
haven't
の
come
か
to terms
未
with
だ
what
に
I
整理
saw.
がつかない今
Today,
バトラ君たちが
after
ゲス
you
トハ
all
ウスに
returned
帰
to
って
the
から
guest house, the family
食堂
conference
で
began
親
in
族
the
会議が
dining
始ま
hall.
ってそして何が
And
起
I'll
こった
tell
か
you everything
全
that
て話す
happened
わ
next.
口を挟まないで
Listen
最後まで
until
聞
the
いて
end without butting in.
途中で急に電話
The
が切れ
call
るかも
might
しれない
suddenly be cut off partway
そし
through.
たらその時
If
は
it is,
私が殺され
that's
た
the
時
moment I was killed. Kiryu-san? Then Kiryu spoke about how Kinzo had come and the family conference. How Kinzo had come, the family conference had started. The 6 have been killed and the 5 of them have been confined. But how she had somehow escaped in Mayday to where she was now, and how everyone was finally being killed. All spoke dispassionately as she had seen it, with no dramatization. She even spoke about how everyone except her had been killed and how she had observed the final moments of all of their deaths, and how even this very moment someone was trying to kill her.
実は
Actually,
この話をしている
even
間に
while
も
we have
もう
been
3度
talking,
攻撃を受け
I've
てい
been
る
attacked 3
鍵
times.
穴からおかしな黄金の
Something
糸
like
み
a
たいなのが飛
strange
び込んで
gold
きて
thread keeps
くるくる
flying
回りながら
in
私を
through
狙
the
ってくる
keyhole, spinning around and aiming for
最
me.
初は足元
First it was by my
次
feet,
は肩の
next
近
it
く
was close to my
さっ
shoulders.
きのは
Just
耳
now
を
it
かす
grazed
った
my ear.
狙いがだんだん正確になっ
Aim
て
is
くる
getting more and more
そろ
accurate.
そろ
Looks like
私の
it
眉
will
間に
right
ズドン
between
と
my
きそう
eyes pretty soon.
逃げろキリエさん
Run, Kiryu-san!
逃げてくれ
Run away!
どこへよ
Where to? Realize I've managed to run all the way here, shut myself into a room, and even locked the
それで
door.
もなお狙われ
I'm
てる
still being targeted.
どこに隠れる
Just where am I meant to hide? Seriously?
ねえバトラ君
Nothing.
ジェシカちゃんとジョージ君
Jessica-chan and George-kun still alive.
さっき
Just now there was a phone call
ジェシカ
from
から電話がなんか
kinda like it sounded like they were down for.
だった
やっぱり
I thought so. Yeah.
私たち
When we 5 were being killed one after another,
何か予感してい
I
た
had a kind of premonition.
として
I thought that perhaps the second twilight had been finished in the 13-person murder ritual, and that our twilights have been
つ
reached.
まり
In other words,
私が死ねば
when I die, that's
これ
13,
で儀式は完了
then the ritual will be complete.
黄金の魔女
The golden witch
ベアトリー
Beatrice
チェが復活
will be resurrected.
一体どういうことにな
I
るのか
wonder
しら
what will happen
こんな悪魔だらけの
on
魔
this
女だらけ
island filled with demons and witches and swarming with goat monsters. Even the boss of them all, the golden witch,
一体どうなっちゃ
appeared.
うというのかしら
I wonder just what in the world will happen.
私
At this
は
point, I
何が何だかわから
can't
ない
make any sense of anything anymore. Kiryu-san's voice had given up completely on her own life, and because Butler could tell that he couldn't stop the tears.
だけ
I did have just one thing I can advise you on.
何
What? Even if a demon or a witch does
悪魔
appear in
や
front of
魔女
you,
が現れても
yeah,
その正体を疑う必要は
there's
ない
no need whatsoever to doubt what they are.
そういうものだ
Understand that they are what they seem.
何か仕掛けがあるはずだとか
You might think that there should be some kind of trick, or there's some true identity
そん
behind
なこ
it.
とを考える余
If
裕
you
は
have the time to think
相
of
手の
something
機
like
嫌を
that,
損ねないことを
it
考
will be
えた
much
方が
more constructive to think on how not to damage the mood of whatever you're facing.
間違っても
Even mistakenly, you might not say, "Prove it then, show me some
その
magic."
証拠を
They will probably
彼
use
ら
a
はこ
method
の上なく
of
残酷な
utmost
方法で
cruelty
見せる
to
でしょう
show you the proof.
信じらんねえよ
Believe
キリエ
it.
さんの
I
口から
never thought
そんなこと
I'd
言
hear
われるなん
something
て
like that coming from your mouth.
信じらんねえ
I
よ
can't believe it.
分かってる
I
信
understand.
じられない
That is
だか
unbelievable.
らそれこそが私にで
That's
きる
why,
声
that's the only advice I can give you.
信じて
Believe. You're telling me to believe in Beatrice and the demons and witches and monsters?
化け物どもを信じろ
Probably. Even after being so clearly shown all of these things not of this world, we still weren't able to believe any of it, I think. I'm like that even now. The true form of this thing that keeps attacking me, trying to shoot me through my forehead, is something I can't understand and I can't believe. So, I want you, at least, to believe, to understand, and to accept that being which we couldn't fully accept. If you do that for me, our deaths won't have been in vain. It'll also have been worth it for me to make this, and it also have been worth it for me to make this phone call. I'm still okay. It grazed me, but it missed again. I very much doubt that I'll survive the next one. Thank you. And goodbye, Madre-kun. I was once cold towards you because you were Azumu's son. Forgive me for those days. What do you mean forgive you? Kirie-san, you are a mother to me now. I felt as though I heard an incredible sound at the other end of the receiver, and then a noisy clattering sound, as though the receiver had fallen to the floor.
Kirie-san! Kirie-san!
Kirie-san never responded to the phone again. Jover dice: comunque se i cadaveri dei 5 che sono morti vengono ritrovati all'interno della magione principale, allora potremo ignorare tutte le cose magiche che sono avvenute nel dungeon, giusto? Possiamo semplicemente dire che sono stati uccisi senza essere stati confinati nel dungeon, un po' nello stesso modo in cui è stato spiegato lo scontro tra Virgilio e Beatrice in episodio 3. Se dobbiamo prenderla completamente in maniera distaccata, sì. Sì, perché non abbiamo... Cioè, se adesso Butler si mettesse, andasse a piedi e dove vedere i cadaveri, non c'è nulla che indica tutta la parte sono stati imprigionati attraverso un portale di gap e poi sono scappati hanno fatto la battaglia magica. È praticamente la battaglia di Beatrice e Virgilia with extra steps, perché non è tutto quanto rimasto nello stesso identico posto, semplicemente c'è stato mostrato in una maniera diversa. Si è spostato, ci sono stati teletrasporti, personaggi magici, interazioni tra persone reali e personaggi magici, e poi però alla fine i cadaveri sono qua. Quindi hai perfettamente ragione, si può ignorare. Noi possiamo vederla, possiamo ignorarla. Ho visto che è un po' troppo alto. Il visuale è un po' troppo alto. Sì, cioè a meno che adesso tipo Butler non trovasse anche il pozzo con il cadavere di Shannon fuori e Butler e Canon caduto giù. Se Butler non trovasse questo e poi scendesse giù e trovasse, che ne so, le grate bended, come si dice, piegate dalla forza delle goats, le sbarre tagliate dalla lama di Canon e bla 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 bla, non abbiamo nessun modo, Butler non avrebbe alcun modo di provare quello che noi abbiamo visto. Ecco, bello, andiamo avanti. I don't know why you're so angry, Butler. You should. Everyone was killed, goddammit, by that goddamn old fart. Saying something incomprehensible about Beatrice's resurrection ritual or something. Oh, then that means 13 people have been offered their sacrifices. And Beatrice will have revived already, you know? Yeah, that's perfect. I'll take Beatrice too and kill them both. Madonna, senti incazzato. We survived the ritual, so we receive an invitation to the Golden Land from Beatrice, you see? All wishes are granted there. If you're suffering because your family was killed, then you just have to bring them back to life. That's what I plan to do. I'm going to revive my really nice, real mama, the one that isn't possessed by the Black Witch. So Mama will always be with me from now on. There won't be any more overtime or working on days off. She'll always be with me and think only of me. And she'll fight all the time against some fearsome enemies for me. Something wrong. Can you sit there saying such incomprehensible crap in a situation like this? Didn't Auntie Kiri just tell you, Butler? Did she tell you to believe in the witch? This isn't to get in on an argument with you. Forget hostages at this point. There's no one left at all. This dumb screwed up ritual game is done now. From here on, I'm doing what I want. Someone might still be alive. Or someone might be hiding. I'll search every nook and cranny of this place, find them, and beat the shit out of them. In a rage, Butler grabbed his headstand spear and flew out of the room. Maria watched him go, looking bored. Beatrice will grant you your wishes very soon anyway. Stupid Butler. Then the phone rang out again. Maria stood up and grabbed the receiver. Oh, hello. Of course, the sound of the phone also reached Butler's son's ears, and as he was about to dash out of the guest house, with a violent forcefulness, he turned around and dashed into the cousin's room. Maria, the phone call. Who is it from? With a terrifying look on his face, Butler yelled at Maria, who was on the phone. You couldn't blame him. Right now, the only humans left on these islands were himself, Maria, God and Kumasawa. Come ha detto Jover anche adesso. Loro sono ancora dentro la garden shed. But there was no way those two could call when they were locked up in the gardening storehouse, which meant there was only one person. It had to be Kinzo. As she happily chatted with the person on the other end of the phone, Maria slowly turned to face Butler. And with an unsettling expression of her face, she laughed with a It felt almost as though the person on the other end of the line was chatting about Butler. Maria, who's on the phone? Grandfather? Butler couldn't imagine that this was the case. After all, it was inconceivable that Maria would be having such a friendly talk with Kinzo, chatting to him about Butler with that eerie smile on her face. Just what kind of person could be on the phone? Who could make Maria chat with a smile like that? At that time, in the back of his mind, the words of Kiri had spoken to him drifted up. Even if a witch does appear, there is no need to doubt it. Just believe in its existence. Yep, Butler just came back. He sure is hasty. Maria, who is on the phone? Who? Hand it over. Sure. Here, Butler. After getting the consent of the person on the other end, she held the receiver out to Butler. Here. Maria held the receiver out for him to take, as though it was perfectly normal. Butler just felt a little bit of hesitation towards taking the receiver, because by acknowledging the existence of the person at the other end, he would have no choice but to admit it. Kiri had said it. There is no longer any need to doubt their existence. Butler took the receiver. After he did so, Maria briskly headed for the door. Butler was slightly fearful about finding out for sure who was at the other end of the receiver. Questioned Maria before taking the call. Hey, where are you going? To where my test is. I wonder who the Ushiromiya family head will be. You or me? Don't go!
殺されるぞ
You'll be killed!
殺されない
No, I
よ
won't.
儀式はもう終わ
The
ってる
ritual's
もの
already over.
それに
And even
殺
if
さ
I
れても
am,
蘇らせ
I'll
て
be
もらえるし
revived.
当主になってもなれな
Whether
くても
one of us becomes the head or not, we've already been invited to the Golden Land. See you.
待てよ
Aspetta un secondo che l'ho tagliata.
殺されないよ儀式はもう終わってるものそれに殺されても蘇らせてもらえるし当主になってもなれなくてももう私たちは黄金鏡に招いてもらえるじゃあねお先に
マリア
Butler stretched his hand out to Maria's back as she left, but the cord of the receiver was gripping, that he was gripping held him back like a chain. He readied himself. Butler put the receiver to his ear.
もしもし
Hello?
Congratulations! And I'm fine!
Screwed up, mocking English filled his ears. It was the voice of a woman he didn't know. Who? The inside of his head was starting to freeze up. Who? What do you mean, who? The answer normally is
I'm fine!
Is it not? Oh, that takes me back. You must have done that one in middle school, right? The thing you do in pairs. Who are you? Answer me. Say it in English. Isn't that your specialty? You're messing with me.
てめえは誰だ
Who are you?
クソじじいの手先か
Crazy old bastard's underling. Underling. Such a cruel description. Go to the other way and try captive. I have Kinzo captive. That last laugh didn't sound like it was aimed at Butler. It was almost as though Kinzo was right next to the phone, cackling as well.
名を名乗りやがれ
Say your goddamn name! Who are you?
何者だ
Who? Try him again. You could win an invite to Hawaii. Finally. Finally. So long. The days leading up to today were really long. I seriously waited 1,000 years, you know, for this day to arrive. And here it is, all thanks to you. My big resurrection. Just this once. I'll let you have that last take backs of yours.
やれやれ
Yes,
上機嫌にも程
Do
が
you know, do you have to be this much of a good
も
mood?
う少しは淑女ら
Can't
し
you
く
act
振る
a
舞わ
little more ladylike? Kinzo and Beatrice sat facing each other over the chessboard on the reception table. Also, on the table were expensive cheeses and the likes to go with drinks. And there was a line of several empty wine bottles. As Beatrice rolled around in her sofa in an unseemly way, she held a wine glass in one hand, in a good mood, and probably completely drunk. I am in the best of moods today, so I'm feeling crazy generous. Hey, Kinzo, don't use a well-aged noble rock wine like this as a decoration. Holy shit, it's 1947. If you don't open it today, when are you going to open it? Let's slosh it all over each other for fun. Then let's whack each other with the empty bottle. Oh, this would be entertaining. You are a little too excited. You're cutting loose too much. Well, what about you? Aren't you happy to be reunited with me? Ah, it's the living world, the earthly world. Long live my flesh. What are you going on about? You're saying that you're Beatrice or something? Thanks to Kinzo's 13th murder ritual, I have finally been resurrected. It's nice having a mouth, it's nice having a tongue. How fun it is to be able to talk to you like this. To think of this, to think of it, even though we've hurled insults at each other over and over again. This is the first time we had a conversation like this on the board during the game, isn't it? How very fresh. Oh, did you hear that pop sound? He opened it! The maniac actually went and opened the vintage wine that's expensive as shit! Do you know how much of a single bottle of that stuff costs? As much as a whole 10-kilogram ingot. Isn't that crazy? Cut the crap. Itch my ass. You say you're the golden witch? That's enough. Where the hell are you? Is that old damn fart with you as well? I'll beat the shit out of you both for you. I'll beat the shit out of you both. Where are you right now? Answer me. Oh, so you want to meet me? Sure is tough being a popular woman. But please don't try and chat me up when Kinzo's around, okay? The guy's a bad egg. He gets seriously jealous, see? But when Kinzo isn't around and we're all alone, I love you all you want in secret, alright? O completamente sbronza anche quello possibile. Kinzo, I've changed my mind. I want to do Maria's test. You go. How fickle. Then you're saying that you will do Butler's test? Nothing wrong with that, right? That guy's so much like a younger you know? He makes my heart race. Don't worry, I'm not gonna cheat on you. I'll be alone with him this one time. I'm always alone with you, right? But no more tying me up 24 hours a day, alright? So there you have it, Butler. I, the Golden Witch Beatrice, will be running your test myself. As for the place, let me see. At the front entrance to this mansion. Butler, this headship test, you've seriously got a full ass this one, okay? I mean, Kinzo's practically dead on his feet. If you become the next head, you'll be the new owner of everything on this island. I wouldn't mind letting you have me all to yourself. I wouldn't mind letting you have me all to yourself, you know? Just like Kinzo did control me, okay? front entrance of the mansion. Perfect. Listen to me, you stinking drunk. I'll sober you up. And I've got a hot punch waiting to help you through your hangover. Just you wait. Butler impulsively slammed the receiver down. There was no need to talk to our receiver anymore. I'll meet her face to face and settle this. I took the spear I'd made by taking apart the hat stand and went outside without even an umbrella. It's hard to imagine that a young woman calling herself Beatrice will be waiting for me alone. I should probably assume that she'll be waiting with those supporting troops that God and Kumasawa-san told us about. Going alone would be too reckless. Koda-san! Kumasawa-san! It's me! Butler! I headed for the gardening storehouse first. I need all the help I can get. Koda-san's a burly man, so I can probably count on him to have some extra brawn. Kumasawa-san's knowledge and familiarity with the area as a senior servant might prove to be a huge weapon. Both of them have master keys, and they know more about the mansion than I do. They are probably reliable allies. As I banged on the shutter and called out for them to open it, I remembered that there was nothing they could do from the inside. I would have to go get the key back from them and open the shutter myself. I went around to the side, knocked on the small lattice window there and opened it up. Koda-san! Kumasawa-chan! It's me, Butler! Hey, come on! The scene in the shed lit by a dim light bulb was all too bizarre. From a low ceiling beam hung two thick ropes, and at the ends, Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were hanging by their necks. It was dim, and I was looking through a narrow gap between all the various pieces of equipment strewn about, and I couldn't make out any more detail than that. But when they showed not even a tremor after I called out to them, and because of the way the loops around their necks seemed to carry their full weight the full weight of their bodies, I could sense no trace of life from them. Kidding me, right? The shutter is still closed, and there's only a key, which I'm sure Goda-san took possession of. So how did the culprit open the shutter and kill the two of them inside? No way, they weren't necessarily killed. If this is a suicide, that way this locked room makes sense, but I don't know why the two of them would hang themselves. Feebly I slumped down on the spot. Now the only humans alive on this island are me, Maria, and my old bastard's old bastard. No, there's also that nutso woman calling herself Beatrice, who has been acting like she's on the witch's side from the beginning, and Gramp is the very person who revived the witch. Plus there's the witch herself. What the hell? Then it's just as I thought. I'm the only one on this island. Using my pole as a cane, I rose feebly to my feet. Then I can't do it like this. I've got to avenge everyone. Damn it! He's no good. He's no goddamn good at all. I got the crying out of the way while I could, so that my weak emotions would be squeezed out with my tears. Then I straightened up, gazed into the darkness in the direction of the mansion. At the entrance of the mansion, the witch is waiting. I'll go, and I'll settle this. I'll find the source of this weird blood-soaked night and crush her with my own hands. Fammi vedere una cosa. Adesso Butler ha trovato Kumasawa e Goda. Sono contati come morti? No. Ok, va bene. Amidst the pouring rain, I walked through the rose garden without an umbrella, letting myself get soaked. I could see the arbor in the distance. According to Jessica, it seems that George Aniki had also been killed. Well, by this point, there's no need to worry about the lives of any hostages. I left the path, aiming for the arbor. Then, I saw George Aniki's weather-beaten corpse.
兄貴
The corpse was in front of the arbor. If he could have died under the arbor, he would at least have been spared from being beaten down upon by the rain. There was a gaping hole in Anakin's forehead, as though he had been shot with a gun. Perhaps because of the rain had washed everything away, his face wasn't covered with blood, and he looked almost like he was sleeping. Fammi vedere. Si vede il buco, pochino. Un po' di sangue, ma è coperto il buco. However, the deep red from his clothes were stained. The deep red his clothes were stained still provided the evidence that a large amount of blood had flowed out. How happy he'd be if he were sleeping or pretending to be dead. But Aniki's eyes remained open, even though the rain sprayed against them. And the hole in his forehead was without a hint of a joke, a real thing. There had been a faint chance that Goda-san and Kumasawa-san hanging by their necks in the gardening shed could have been a bad joke, but the naive possibility had now been completely denied. And as I looked at his corpse, I became completely sure, just as Goda-san had once said, the enemy came to take lives as though these lives were pieces on the chessboard. Terza volta lo dice.
間違いない
There's no
クソ
mistake.
じじいと魔女
It seems that
は俺
Paul
たちに
Teaser
は
and
気
the
が
witch really don't view our lives as anything more than that.
ないらしい
That damn witch, when she was on the phone, she talked about us like we were on the game board.
仕事を出せ
She thinks this is a game, huh? Then, in the same way you killed everyone like it was a game.
俺がお前らを
It's alright if I kill you all like it's a game as well, right? Just you wait.
を洗ってやがれベアトリーチェ
E ho sentito prima quando ho trovato il corpo di George che è stato aggiornato quello, quindi George lo possiamo mettere morto, sì. Allora, finalmente aggiorniamo per la prima volta con tutti quanti morti. Per la prima volta aggiorniamo signorino George. Corpse discovered by the rose garden arbor. There was a single hole right through the center of his forehead. It seems reasonable to think that he was shot with a gun or something. It was a brand of humiliation marking his loss to God. The lightning caused the mansion's vast shadow to emerge, finally, the mansion. As the massive shape came into view, there was no silhouette of any person. It seems that there weren't any underlings waiting for me in a pack or anything like that. According to Kiria-san, there were a large number of attendants with goat heads. At least for now, I couldn't sense any large group like that hiding and staring at me. What's this? Beneath the roof of the entrance, there was something set down.
なん
What's
だよ
this?
これ箱
Box? It looked like the kind of small box that girls often keep trinkets in. Maybe it was the same kind of extravagant cigar case you'd find in a reception room. Either way, it didn't look like something that belonged here. It clearly looked as though I was being told to open it. But the thought of doing what they wanted me to do was somehow irritating. However, it didn't look like we'd get anywhere if I didn't open it. Could it be that it was set up with some trap to make it explode when opened? While thinking things like that and forgetting even to go under the overhang, I continued to glare at the box as the rain beat down upon me. Then, mixed in with thunder, was some kind of music. It sounded like something like that. It was the tone of a big clock in the hall announcing midnight. It was also the sound of that announced that the crazy day of October 4th had finally ended, and that the much more incredible crazy day of October 5th had begun. È vero, di solito la gente, vabbè, a questo punto è successa solo la prima Twilight. Adesso sono già morti tutti, siamo già alla fine, siamo già alla 10ª, cioè alla 9ª, ok? The Witch Will Revive. Speedrun, la speedrunnata Kinzo. That sound quietened, and I could hear an eerie laugh coming out of nowhere. I got the feeling that voice was coming from the heavens, and I looked up at the sky. And there was a woman I've never seen before. No, not true. It's not true that I've never seen her before. I saw her once today. Yes, in the portrait inside the mansion. The clothes were different, but that face was just like the witch of the portrait. Who am I kidding? I already know who this person is. You are Beatrice. Leaning over the second floor balcony and waving cheerily from under her umbrella was, without a doubt, the witch of the portrait, Beatrice. Was the plan for the boss to watch on from above as her goat underlings tortured me to death? I adjusted my grip on the spear, and imagining goats creeping out of the surrounding shadows and the entrance and surrounding me, I raised my guard in all directions. Be at ease. There's no one here but you and me, see? There is no goat furniture, there are no demon butlers. Master is not here, nor my close demon friend. And there are none of the gold butterflies that help compose my physical form. There are no magical circles and no summoners in attendance. Do you know what that means? Not a clue. Quit babbling. I have in fact met you several times, even in this world. Almost as though brushing past one another, meeting only for a moment. As you know, this world of humans is filled with a toxin just by the existence of your doubting of me. Almost like solid ramparts strengthening the defense around you, the king. And through multiple games, I advanced my pieces one by one, splitting you apart and cornering you, undermining your ramparts bit by bit. Then finally I opened a tiny crack. I sent a bishop in so that I could approach right up next to you. But, as you know, bishops are pieces with blind spots. As long as you stay out of the black squares, a black bishop can exert massive influence upon you. But if you escape just one step to a white square, then even if I close in right next to you, I will not be able to touch you. That is why I've progressed through these games by sending in various pieces so that you cannot stay on a white square, forcing you out in front of me and the one who controls the black squares next to you. However, there are now holes open all over your ramparts, and I was at last able to send in not a bishop, but a full queen. Do you know what kind of piece a queen is? A rook plus a bishop. Is that what you're trying to say? Now you not only control the black squares that are the witch's illusions, but have also become able to encroach upon the white squares of the human world at will. That is correct! Where there exist the gold butterflies, there are my minions. You have been labeling those squares as a witch's illusion, denying them under the hypothesis that they are observerless non-reality, am I right? I am well aware. For that very reason, I have at last descended thus upon the squares of white. Worry not, I'll call plenty of gold butterflies, goats, demons, and witches later on. If you wish, I will invite you to my golden land. There I will grant you any wish that you desire. Starting to look like someone knocked an ink bottle over the chessboard of this island. I see, that too is a pleasant description. Soon you will be covered in that ink as well. Before long, you will become dyed pitch black and surely become a black king. At this point, you are a pitiful existence drowning in a sea of ink, are you not? No, I'm not. I admit that the island has been stained completely black from your ink bottle, but there's still a white square left. Oh, and where? Right under my feet. Your magic ink may try to cover the entire island, but it can't cover the ground my feet are standing on. Even if this island seems to be stained pitch black at a glance, I am me. I am here, with my family, with my feet firmly planted on a white square. It's strange. Until a second ago, I was trembling all over, but now that she's appeared openly right before my eyes like this, my terror has actually lessened. It's funny. Ghosts are more terrifying when you can only sense them, when you can see them, and they have a face, and you can plant your fist into. There's nothing scary about it. However, she is definitely not a funny or a friendly person. She can kill me instantly while rolling around giggling just by snapping a finger. Whether we interpret the result of her snapping fingers as magic flying at me or underling showing up to shoot me, doesn't matter. In any case, whether this is fantasy or mystery, that queen is in a position where she can kill me just by snapping her fingers. I see, so this is the meaning of the queen of this island, who reigns over both the white and black squares. Now then, it might be interesting to wait until you catch a cold in all of that rain, but it's about time to move to the matter at hand. I'm sure that you can tell there is a box there. Your test is inside of it. Hold it. After all that's happened, I'm not interested in some stupid game about who'll be the next head. My game is to take you and the old man, and all the rest of you guys who've killed everyone, and give every one of you a full-on punch to the face. So you will fly to the sky up to my balcony. Very good, very good. Come on then. Up you come already. Come on, come on. Up, up. Acting like you're hot shit just because you're in a completely safe place. I'm coming up there right now, so you better be prepared. Oh, no. It's all locked up. Of course, the shutters are down, all the windows as well. My castle isn't so fragile that a single knight like you could break in. I tried the front door anyway, just in case. Yeah, it really was locked. When I looked around, I noticed that indeed the shutters were closed on the windows. Normally they wouldn't be.
用意周到なやつだぜ
Looks like you're prepared for everything.
鍵はどこだ
Where's the key? Koda-san and Kumasawa-san probably have master keys, but they're in the locked room of the garden and storehouse. I can only give up for now. Damn.
やつもバカじゃねえ
Yeah, she's no fool herself.
そんなにわら
Are
わ
you
とすぐ
really
に
so
何に行きた
dying
い
to be right by my side?
いいぞ
Alright, if you pass your test with flying colors, why don't I grant you an audience?
合格という
If you pass, then you will be the successor and my new
そして
master
わらわ
after
の次
kingdom.
なるあるわらわの
My body and soul will be yours to do with as you will,
わらわは所詮
because I am
後ろ宮家の
ultimately
家具な
the
のだ
Ushiromi family's furniture.
どうやら
Wow.
テストってやつを
It looks like you want to
どうしても
make
やらせたい
me
らしい。
take a test no matter what.
受けて立ってやら
I'm
合
game.
格したら
If I pass, my
最初の
first
ご褒美
prize will be
てめえ
punching
に
you.
顔面パンチだぜ
Will be a punch to your
それ
face.
は怖い
Oh,
怖い
scary,
That-
scary.
暴
But
力
it's
に
not
支配
like,
されるのも
but
嫌い
it's
では
not
ない
like I mind being controlled by violence. You see?
わらわの頭を
Grab
わ
onto
し
my
づかみ
head,
にして普通に表情を
make
歪
my
ま
face twist in
鷹がその
pain,
爪で獲物を引き
violate me
裂
in
き
the
かき
same
むしる
way
よ
a
うに
hawk tears
わらわを
apart and
蹂躙
scratches
して
as it
くれ
preys with its talons.
ああ若
Oh,
き日の
remind
金
me
蔵
of
を
Kinzo
もう
in
一
his
度思
younger
い出さ
days
せてお
once
くれ
more. Remind me.
わらわにこの千年の生涯
Single
た
time
だ
in my
一度
1,000-year life.
支配さ
Remind me of the day that I
家具に
was
落ちる
taught the
喜びを
joy
教
of
え
being
てくれたあの
controlled,
日のこと
of submitting and being
思い出
reduced
さ
to
せてくれ
furniture.
よ
酔っ払いね
You damn troll.
拉致が開かね
We aren't getting anywhere. Ignoring the stupidly smiling witch, I picked up the
そう
box.
だ
Yes,
それを開き
open it.
中に手紙
Inside is a letter.
それを読むのだ
Read it. I opened it. There was a faint smell of cigarettes. Apparently, it really had been originally been a cigar case, but there were no cigarettes or cigars inside. Instead, there was a western envelope with a one-winged eagle crest, and where I opened that to, there was a letter inside. I looked up at the witch. She was grinning down at me. It seemed she was waiting in anticipation to see what kind of reaction I'd have to the contents. Damn it, I'll show her. If its contents were like this. Among the three mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1. Your life, life, everyone else's life. If you do not choose one, all of the above will be lost.
なんだこりゃ
Heck is this?
随分と物騒なことが
Pretty
書かれてる
creepy stuff is written
それよ
here.
り
And most importantly, the second one is blank. I don't even know whose life.
その2番に
The second one is where you put the name of the one person that of the one that person loves the
ジェ
most.
シカのテスト
For
にはカノ
Jessica's
ン
test, it was Cannon's name. For George's test, it was Shannon's name.
彼らについては
Since they have
思い出が
obvious
はっきり
feelings
して
for
いたから
certain people,
あら
I
か
was
じめ
able to
名前を
write
記
those
入してやりま
names
した
in
そ
beforehand.
なたの
But
思
I
い人
don't know
わらわ
who
は
you
知
have
らん
feelings for.
だから誰
So
の
I
名を書けば
didn't
いいや
know
ら
whose name to write,
フ
and I
ラ
left
ッ
it
とさせ
blank.
てもらった
そいつはちょうどいい
That's
や
perfect.
愛してるぜ
I
ベア
love
トリ
you,
ーチ
Beatrice.
お前の名前をこ
I'll
こに
stick
使
your
う
name in here.
だから俺が
So
選ぶ
my
選択
choice
肢
is
は
going to
2
be
番
number 2.
これでいいか
Is that alright?
おいおい
Hey,
茶化
hey,
すな
quit
茶化すな
joking, quit joking.
なあ
Come
頼むよ
on,
バトラ
Butler.
お前の
Please,
思い人の
tell me the name of the
わらわ
person
に
you
教
have
えて
feelings
くれよ
for.
じゃないと
If you
テストに
don't,
ならぬ
then
では
this
ない
won't be a test, right?
悪いな
Too bad.
俺に特定の
I
女
don't
は
have
いね
any
え
woman
ぞ
in particular.
仮にいたって
Even if I did, why the hell
誰
would
が
I
お前なん
tell
ぞに
you?
話すもんか
そう
In
いう
that
こと
case,
で
this
は
test
このテストは
will
そな
not
たに
work
成立
for you.
せん
What a shame, what a shame.
そなたの思い
I
人が
was really
どう
wondering what kind of woman was your cup of tea. What if I said I like young, flat-chested girls with long black hair? You don't mention one single area, do you?
嘘をつけこのおっぱいソムリエが
Lies, you breast sommelier!
金髪のダイ
You
ナマイトパーティーがいい
you prefer a blonde bombshell with a dynamite body, don't you?
わらわがまさ
I
に
am precisely the embodiment of your ideal.
お前の3サイズを当てるのが次期当主のテストだってん
If
なら
guessing your 3 sizes is the test to become the successor, I'll take it gladly.
そう
Ah,
次期
yes.
当主のテ
This
ストであっ
was
た
the test to choose the successor.
そなたと喋る
Chatting
のが
with you
楽
is
しくて
so much fun
ついつい
that
さっ
I've
きから
been
脱
getting
線し
a
てし
bit
まう
off
わ
topic.
それでは
Then, let us
次期
begin the
当主の
headship
テス
test.
トを始めるそなたに
I will question you to see whether you are qualified to be the next Ushiromiya family head.
心して答えるが
Answer with care. The witch who had been joking around like she was drunk until a second ago suddenly regained her gravitas. She looked as though she truly had stepped out of that imposing portrait.
我こそは
I am the Ushiromiya family alchemist, the golden
黄金の
witch
魔女にして
and the
無限の
endless
魔女
witch.
ベアト
Beatrice.
リーチ後ろ宮家の家督
Do you have the qualifications to inherit the Ushiromiya family headship and all of my gold?
それをわらわが
That
問
is what I will test.
うそなたの名を名乗る
State
者
your name,
後ろ宮
Ushiromiya
Butler.
Butler. Under that majestic gaze, unimaginable from her manner a short while ago, I answered without any hesitation. She truly was, yes, indeed. In the truest sense, she was that worthy of calling herself the queen of this island.
よろし
Very
い
good,
後ろ宮バトラ
Ushiromiya Butler.
しかしそなたはその
However,
後
you
ろ
have
宮に
thrown away the Ushiromiya name for the
Kono
past
6
6
年
years, have you not?
それはなぜ
Why is that?
クソ親父に愛想
Because
が
I
尽きた
have
からさ
enough of my dad, that old bastard.
知っている
I know.
父親の最
It
後
was because you felt your
そなたの
father's
敬愛する
remarriage
母親の
disgraced
せ
the
い
death of your
冒
mother,
涜したように
whom
感
you
じた
love
から
and respected, yes?
なる
I see. You have
新
no
しき
blood
母は
relation to your new
そなた
mother
と何の
whatsoever.
血のつながりもないそなたがその
It is
母を
not
受け
as
入
you
れられ
thought.
ぬ気持ちは
As,
わからぬ
it
で
is
は
not as though I cannot understand while you feel unable to accept that mother.
しかし
However, no matter
父
who
親
your
が誰
father
と再婚
remarries
しよ
with,
う
that does not change the fact that
と
his
血のつな
blood
がり
runs
変
through
わら
your
ぬのではない
veins, correct?
何が言いて
What's your point?
父親の再婚
I
に
can,
反
to an
対する
extent,
父親を独
understand the
占したいがゆえにそ
childishness
なたの
which led
幼稚
you to oppose your
多少の
father's
理解は
remarriage
し
out of a desire to have him all to yourself.
しかし
However, was throwing
それに
away the
反抗するため
Ushiromiya name as a
後ろ宮
means of
に
resistance, not a
家
disgrace
と
to
血
your
に対す
family
る
and
冒
blood?
涜ではないのそなたは後ろ
You
宮
have
に
been born and raised
育まれて
Ushiromiya,
きたのでは
were
ない
you not?
その恩
Do
を
you think you were
後ろ
qualified
宮の名
to
を捨て
forget
る資
that
格
depth and throw away the
そ
Ushiromiya
なたに
name?
あったという
お前には関
It
係
has
ない
nothing to do with you.
俺と親父の
This is
問題だ
between me and dad.
後ろ宮の
The
名
Ushiromiya name does not belong to you and your father
お
alone.
前は知らぬ
You
女
are
に
a child who
父親を
simply
奪われる
rebelled,
ことを
unable to forgive the fact that your
反抗しただ
father
けの幼
was to be
稚
stolen away by an unknown woman.
後ろ宮家の席を
Those
捨て
6
去った
years
この6
during
年
which you forsook the
そな
Ushiromiya
たが
register
後ろ宮家
were
に
a
泥を塗り
significantly
短
long
からぬ
period
年
where you dragged the Ushiromiya name through the mud.
その罪深き
Know
を知るが
the depths of your sinfulness.
幼稚で悪かったな
Sorry I'm so childish.
しかし
However,
祖父母の死を
even
境
though
に
it was prompted by the depths of your grandparents, I do commend you for returning to Ushiromiya
よ
register.
って
Accordingly, I shall give you a chance to purify yourself of that sin.
今こそそなた
Now is the time to atone
6年前の
for
罪
your
を
sin
あ
of
がなう
6 years ago.
さあさあ思い出してごらんなさ
Try
い
to remember.
自らの
Remember
罪
your own sin.
それを思い出
Remember
し
it,
告白
confess, and repent.
懺悔せよ それこ
That shall be my
そ
test
わらわ
for
が
you.
そなたに与えるテストである
At that moment, a massive thunderclap rang out, making my mind go blank.
懺悔せよって
Friend?
なんだよ謝れって言い
Are
た
you
い
trying
の
to tell me to apologize?
もうテストは
The
始まってい
test
るぞ
has already
そ
begun.
なたの好き
You
に
may
考え
think
るがいい
as you wish. There were no signs from the witch's expression that she was sneering at a person unable to answer the tough question thrust upon them. She was earnestly asking something of him, and he could even feel a quiet determination. Even as the rain beat upon him, Butler could not shift his eyes from her gaze. The witch threw away her umbrella. She abandoned herself to the falling rain, so that the rain would fall on her until Butler answered that question. She had chosen to join him, allowing the rain to beat down on her as well, until he reached an answer. For some reason, Butler could tell that, but even so, he didn't understand.
いやまあそれを言われりゃ
I mean,
幼稚だったと思う
you're right, I do think I was being
何の
childish.
かんの言ったって
All things considered,
親父に
just
育ててもらっ
dad
た恩
got
は
remarried. That
親父
doesn't
が再
wipe
婚したから
out
って
what I
チャラにな
owe
るもん
him
じゃね
from raising me.
親父は
I hear Dad always kept on sending money over for my living
学
expenses,
校の行事にも
and he even said he wanted to be involved in my school events.
それを俺が
The only reason he
絶
couldn't
対
come
に
is
来させるなと
I
じいちゃ
told
んたちに言
Grandma
ってた
and
から
Grandpa not to let him come no
来
matter
させなか
what.
っただけど確かに
Yeah, if you want to just
俺
be
の
blunt
幼稚
and
な
say
反
I
抗
was
だった
being
と
childish and
バッサリ
rebellious,
言われりゃそれまでだぜ
I can't argue with
Yeah,
that.
でもよ。
But you know, in that case,
僕らの
Mom, Shiromi
白
Azumu
宮アスム
is
の
gonna
胸
set
は
things right.
誰が話すんだ
Now, who's gonna set things right for her?
僕はあんなにも決心
Mom
的
was
に
so
俺たち家
devoted
族
to
を
our
尽くし
family, and she did the very best she could.
なのに親父は
Dad was
キリエさんと
cheating
浮
with
気もしてい
Kirias.
たエンジを身ご
He
もらせ
even
て
got
さえ
her pregnant with Enje.
それで
And then the moment she was born, he rushed them
入れたんだ
both into his register.
それがおふくろへの裏切りでなくて何なんだよ
What is that if not betrayal of
お
mom?
ふくろの
Who's gonna
胸
set
誰が
things right
話すんだよ
for her? But
だが
what you're saying is
お
also
前の言う通り
right.
でもあるさ浮気は事実
Even
でも
though the cheating was a
俺を
fact,
育ててく
I
れた
still
恩は
owed
確か
him
にあった
for raising me.
なら
So I thought
そ
I'd
れを
cancel
相殺
those
して
two things out and
俺が
leave
家
the
を出てい
family.
くというので十
What's the
分
problem
問題
with
ねえじゃ
that?
ねえかよそうさ
That's right. I had the right, no, the
Only
duty to wallop Dad in
Yeah.
mom's place, didn't
義
I?
務があったはずなんだぜそれを俺は許した
I let him get away without that.
何も言わずに
I
出て
left without saying anything,
初めから
as
俺
though
なん
I
ていなか
hadn't
った
been
こと
there
に
in
し
the
てやっ
first
た
place.
親父も俺のことなん
And
か
Dad
忘れて
forgot about me and
君
started
さん
a
が
new family
エン
with
ジと新
Kirias
しい
and
家
an
族を
Angel.
始めたそれで丸く収
Settles
まってるじゃね
everything,
えか
doesn't it? But 6 years passed after that. Time healed the anger. Kirias-san understood my anger very well, and he tried hard to interact with me despite that and soften my heart. Angel didn't know anything about the situation, and she adored me, believing that I was a real big brother who just lived in a separate house. As for Dad, he acted like nothing had happened and told me I could come home anytime I wanted.
だんだんバカらし
I
くなって
started
き
to
たんだ
feel
よ
more and more stupid keeping it all going.
そろそろ
I thought it was
俺も
about time for
頭
me
を
to
冷やして
cool
もい
my
いかな
head
と
as
思ったん
well.
だだから俺は
So I said to Dad that
親父が謝
he
ったら全部
apologized
水に流
and I
すと
call
言ってや
it
ったん
water
だ
under the bridge.
じいちゃんの葬式の日に
The day of Grandpa's funeral.
そしたらあいつ
That guy,
本当に
he
畳
actually
に両
put
手をつ
both
いて
of his
詫
hands
びや
on
が
the
って
floor and apologized.
信じらんね
I
えくらいに
couldn't
情け
believe
ない
how
格好だった
pathetic he looked.
あの格好つけた
My
親父が
God, it was all about looking cool. Actually bowed his goddamn head to me.
それを見た
When
ら
I saw that, I felt
なん
like
だかもう
it'd be
バカらし
stupid
く
to
なっち
keep
まっ
up
た
any
きっ
longer.
とおふくろも
I'm
そう
sure
思った
Mom
だ
would
ろう
have
ぜ
thought the same thing.
おふくろは
Every time
俺
Dad
と
and
親
I
父が喧嘩を
fought,
すると
Mom would always
いつも
laugh
笑いな
and
がら仲裁して
meditate
くれて
for us.
なんだそんなくだらない
Silly
ことで
thing is
喧嘩
what
を
you
し
were
ていた
fighting
の
over.
と笑ってくれ
She'd
た
say.
俺はおふくろが
I could feel Mom saying that
そう言っ
and
て笑って
laughing.
いるのを感じたんだよだから許
That's
すと
why.
までは言えなかっ
Well,
た
I
けど
couldn't bring
もう一度
myself to say, I
ゼロ
forgive
から
you.
始めてもいいかなって思っ
I
たんだ
thought it might be alright to start again from
そ
zero.
れで
So I decided to
6年
wind
前に
everything
全
back
てを
to
巻き
how it
戻すこ
was
とにした
6 years ago.
それで後ろ
And
宮
I
家に
returned to
席
the
を戻
Ushiromi
したんだ
family
よ
register.
俺も6年間
I cried, raged, and stressed over the whole 6 years. I'd cried, raged, and stressed over it for a whole 6 years.
ひょっとするとそれは親父
Might
も
have
そうだ
been
った
the
かも
same
しれ
for
ない
dad, might even
死んだ
for my
袋
dad
もそうだっ
now.
たかもしれないあるいは
Maybe
キリ
he
エ
is
さんやエンジ
an
もそうだ
angel
ったかもしれないだからゼロに
So
戻し
we went back to zero.
後ろ
And I
宮バトラー
returned
に
to
戻
being
ったんだ
Ushiromi Butler.
それは俺たち家族の
My
問題であっ
immediate
て
family's problem.
後ろ宮家とか
And has
そんなのは
nothing the
何
hell
も
to
関
do
係
with
ねえ
Ushiromi family.
それを罪だと断
You
じる
aren't
資格はお
qualified
前に
to
ないし
judge that to
そ
be
れ
a
をお前に
sin.
懺悔す
And
る
I
義
have
務も
no
俺には
duty
な
to
い
show repentance to
も
you.
しそれを本当に
If
す
there
べき
was
相手がいたと
anyone
し
I
たら
should have done that for,
それは
you've
お
already
前が
killed
もう
them.
全員殺しただから俺は何も謝
So
らな
I
い
won't apologize for
懺
anything.
悔しない
I won't
それ
repent.
が俺の
That is
この
my
テストへ
answer
の
for this
答えだ
test.
それだけか
Is that all?
何
What? I had pretty much fully responded to her provocation. I was sure that I'd vented out all the stuff that I've been keeping inside my chest. Stuff I hadn't wanted to show anyone. That was what the witch had supposedly been hoping for too. And yet, the witch's blank expression didn't change in the slightest. I've been sure she would start cackling and guffawing, sneered at my childish, foolish, and shameful past. But to the contrary, I could feel a sense of shock about her. Something you could almost call disappointment.
それだけも何も
What do you mean, is that all?
俺は洗いざらいを
I've
ぶちまけた
confessed
ぜ
everything inside me.
何が不満なんだ
What aren't you happy about?
まだ
The atonement for
罪の
your
清算が
sins is
足り
still
ない
insufficient.
生産
Atonement?
なんだよ
What the hell?
親父みた
Are
い
you asking to
ここに
prostrate
土下座して謝れってのかよ
prostrate myself right here and apologize like Dad did?
違う
No,
お前たち家族に
I have no
お
interest in
前
the
の
home
家での
affairs of your
話になん
immediate
て興
family.
味はないここはどこだ
Where are we?
六軒島だ
Rokkenjima,
後ろ宮本
the
家の
main
本宅である
residence of the Ushiromi head
こ
family.
の場所にふさわしい
Isn't there a sin you should
そなたの思い
remember
出すべき罪が
fitting for this place? Are you saying that I
ここに
have
俺に罪
another
があるってのかよ
思い出す
remember Ushiromi
後
Abato?
ろ宮バトルそして
And it is
そ
your
れを思い出せ
inability
ぬ
to
ことが
remember
そなたの
which is your sin.
だからこそ
For that reason,
許そう
I shall forgive you.
それを思い出せ
If you
たな
can
ら許す
remember, I shall forgive you.
それを思い出す
Remembering that that
そ
is
なた
my
への
test
贖
of
罪の
atonement
テスト
for you.
思い出せって
That's a lot easier said than done.
思い出
Remember,
せだからこそ罪な
that is why it is a sin.
悪い
Sorry,
が
Beato.
ベアト俺には身に覚えが
I
さ
have
っぱりだ
absolutely no memory of it.
なんだか6年前の
Make
俺
it seems like I
お前に迷
caused
惑
you
をかけた
trouble
んだよ
6 years ago or something.
が俺はお前と
But
は
unless I'm
今回の親
mistaken,
族会
this
議が
family
初対面のはず
conference is the first time we met.
確かに
It's true
お前の
that
伝説
your
は
legend
6
did
年前の
exist
当時に
6
存
years
在してい
ago,
た俺との面
but
識
I'm
は
pretty confident that we
当時
didn't
長かった
know
は
each
ずだ
other back then.
無論である
Naturally,
6年前の
on the
六軒
Rockin'
島
Gym
に
of 6 years ago,
我
I
らは
was
ま
not
だ
yet
権限してい
manifested.
ない
Then, what
俺に
kind of
何の罪
sin
があるって
are you saying I have?
俺に
Are you saying
お前
I
に対する
sinned
罪が
against you
同
somehow?
じことを二度言わせ
Do
る
not make me repeat myself.
我らは
I was
6
not
年前には
manifested
権限
6
してお
years
らん
ago.
そなたと面
For us
識
to
な
be
い
acquainted would be an impossibility.
そなたという
In
世
the
界
world
に
you represent, it was as though I did not even exist. Beato's cold eyes felt as though they were accusing me of some kind of sin. It felt on the face of it as though she was still holding a grudge for some way I treated her and was criticizing me for it. However, I obviously couldn't remember doing anything like that to her, and Beato had said that so herself. There was no link between us 6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, no person called Beatrice existed for me.
ヒント
At
くらい
least give me a hint.
その罪とやらは
Does this sin or
俺とお前
whatever
に
have something to do
関係
with
が
you and me?
わらわは6年
I
前には
had
そ
no
なたと縁
connection
が
to
ない
6 years ago.
わらわのことはいい加減に考
Remove me from your
えから
thoughts
外
already.
せというのだなぜ
Why?
わらわへの
Why
罪
do you
だ
think
と
it's a
思
sin
う
against me?
お前の
Your eyes. Eyes?
ほう
お前の目がさ
Your eyes, they're
詫びろって
whispering at me to
俺に
apologize.
囁いてくるんだよだが
But
俺
I
は
had
お
no
前なんか
connection
6
with you
年前に
6 years
縁はね
ago.
えし
Even you admitted
それは
that.
お前も認めたはずだ本当なのか
Is it true?
本当に
Is it really not a problem between me and you?
違うというの
I've already said it wasn't.
わらわとそなた
No
の問題
problem between me and you has anything to do with this.
だがよ
But still,
お前の目が
your eyes are
そう
telling
だ
me
と言ってるん
differently.
だよ
So I
だか
didn't
ら俺にはさっ
even
ぱ
have
り
a
わから
clue.
ねえ赤で言えるが
Can you say it in
お
red?
前が思い出す
Can
と
you
言っている罪
declare that the sin you're telling me
俺と
to
お前の間の
remember
ものではない
isn't
と
something between you and
宣
me?
言できるか
よかろう
Very well. The sin I am now demanding that you remember is not between Ushiromiya Butler and Beatrice.
ならなぜそんな目で俺を見る
Why are you looking at me with those eyes?
わからん
I do not know.
わらわはそなた
I am simply gazing
こう
at
し
you
て淡
blankly.
々と見つめているだけだそれをそなたが
It
そう
feels
感
that
じる
way
と
to
いう
you.
のならばそれはそなた
Perhaps that is because there is
そう感
something
じる
that
何
makes
か
you
があ
feel
るの
that
では
way.
俺に
The hell kind of sin have I got?
後ろ宮バトラー
Ushiromiya Butler
罪がある
has a sin.
どんな罪だってんだ
I said, what kind, damn
ど
it?
うせ叩い
Probably
た
just some stupid sin like hitting someone or tricking someone.
そなたの罪は
Because of your sin,
人が死ぬ
people die.
嘘つけ
Liar!
俺は誰も
I've
殺してなんか
never
い
killed
ない
anyone.
じゃあ言えよ
Say it then.
俺が誰を殺した
Who did I kill?
誰
When?
どうやっ
Who?
て
How?
そなたの罪に
Due to your
こ
sin,
の島の
a
人間
great many
大勢
humans
死
on this island die.
誰も逃さ
None will
す
escape.
すべて死ぬ
All will die.
はあ何をわけわ
What
か
the
んね
hell are you going on about?
俺がみんなを殺したっ
Are
て
you
言う
saying
のかよ
I killed
俺
everyone?
は殺人鬼か
Am I a killer?
そなたが直接手
You
を
do
下
not
すわけ
carry
で
it
はない
out
し
directly.
かし
However,
そな
because
た
you
が罪
committed
を
a
犯した
sin,
からこ
the cogs of fate were
6年
sent
にもわたる
astray,
歯車の
span a
狂い
full
に
6
歪みが生
years,
じ
and due to the deviation that resulted, tonight,
これだけの
these
人
many
命が
lives
失われ
are
る
lost.
そなたは
You are
この
one
惨劇
of
の
the
原因の
causes
一つ
of
で
this tragedy.
いい加減に
Oh,
しろ
come the fuck on!
が原因だ
I'm the
じ
cause?
ゃあなんだ
Then
俺が
what?
6年前に
Are you saying
後ろ宮
13
の席
people
を捨てた
died
から
because I
13
abandoned
人が死んだ
Yoshiromiya
っての
Register 6 years ago?
俺が6年ぶりに後ろ宮
You
家に
saying
帰ってき
13
たから
people died because I came back to the Ushiromiya's family after 6 years?
ふざけるな
Give me
い
a
い加減に
fucking
しろ
break.
俺はこの6年間
For these 6 years, I've been the man furthest from the Ushiromiya family.
その俺が
Influence could I have had on anything
どん
and
な影響を
how?
与えたってんだ俺だって好きで
It's not like I came to the family conference because I wanted to.
6年ぶりによりを戻
Patched
したから
things up with the
こ
family
れまでの
6
期間を停止になったこ
years.
とで
After 6 years, so to like draw a line under that whole period
しぶしぶと
came to
現地ま
Rokkenjima
で来たんじゃね
reluctantly.
えか別に俺は
It's not like I had some
今日
duty
ここ
to
へ来る
come
理由
here
なんて
today.
なかったんだその俺が帰っ
I
てきて
came back.
そ
And
れが
because
理
of
由で
that
惨劇
tragedy
が起こ
occurred.
ったじゃあなんだ
Then what?
俺が帰ってこなけれ
You're
ば
saying that
誰も
if
知らず
I
に
hadn't
済んだって
come
のか
back, no one would have had to die?
赤で言えよ
Say it in
俺が
red.
もし帰って
Can you
こ
say
なかっ
into your red that if I hadn't
この
come
おかしな
back,
殺人事件
this
は起こら
screwed
なか
up
った
murder case
赤
wouldn't
で
have
言えるの
occurred?
かよ言えるわけ
There's
ね
no
えぞ
way you can. Because
お
you're
前
the
が全て
culprit
の犯
behind
人なんだから
everything.
な苦笑要求
Repetition requested.
後ろ宮バトラが
If Ushiromiya
もし
Battle
も
hadn't
ロッケンジマに
returned
戻
to
ってこなかった
Rokkenjima,
ら
the crime
事
wouldn't
件
have
は起こらなかっ
occurred.
た言えるものなら
Go
言ってみろ
on. Say it if you think you can.
言えねえだろ
Can't do it, can
言
you?
えやしない
There's
のさ
no way in hell you can.
犯人はお
The
前なんだ
culprit is you,
俺
not
じゃない
me.
勝手にその責任を
You dare try to
俺に
push
なす
the
りつけるん
blame
じゃ
for
ね
this onto me.
え答えろよ
Answer.
赤
In red. He said repeated.
できやしない。
You can't.
事件に俺の
My
存在なん
existence
か
had
関係ない
nothing
の
to
さ。
do with the crime.
わけのわかんねえ
Stop
ことを言っ
messing
て
with my head.
俺を混乱させるんじゃね
I began to remember that the raindrops were pounding down were cold. The rain earlier would just hurt, but now I felt a tormenting cold from those raindrops.
何
Is there something that you remember?
悪いが
I'm
俺に
sorry.
はさっぱり心当たり
Doesn't
が
have
ね
a
え。
goddamn clue.
おい
Look,
俺は少しイラつき始め
starting to get a little pissed off.
言いたいことがあるなら
Is
言
there
え
something you wanna say, then say
俺
it.
に恨みがあるなら
If you have a grudge against
堂
me,
々と言えば
you just have to come out and say it.
思い出せない
Don't be nasty about it and demand me to
顔する
remember.
んじゃね
もう一度聞く
I'll ask you one more time. Can you not remember any sin?
思い出せぬ
え。ああ
No,
何にも思い
I
出せねえな
can't remember a goddamn thing.
何も思い出せぬと
He says that he can remember nothing.
これにて未練は
With
尽きた
this, are your regrets at an end?
望みなき賭けも
Even a hopelessly long
miren
shot
mano.
will be a source of regret if not attempted.
それでよいの
That will do.
だかけることに意味があ
The
る
attempt itself has meaning.
そうかもしれ
Maybe
ぬ
true.
ならばこれ
In
に
that
て
case, this is
わらわの未練も
the end of my regrets
ゲームも
and my game.
そなたはどうする
What will you do?
さあな
Who knows?
わらわはも
I'm not interested
う
at
何
all
の興味も
anymore.
ないすまぬ
Sorry,
がわらわは
but
こ
I
れ
wish
に
to leave the game board now.
ゲーム版を降りさせてもらいたいそうか
I see.
わかっ
I understand.
た後のゲームは
I will take over for the rest of the game.
そなたは休
You may rest.
め後のこ
All that
と
remains,
すべてわらわが終わる
I will finish.
そなたはすべてを
You may
忘れ
forget everything and bury your
枕に
head
顔を
in
う
your
ずめ
pillow.
羽の布団
A
は
feather futon should
そなた
gently
をすべ
protect
て
you
から
from
優しく
everything.
守ってくれるだろう後片付けを
Finish up the rest for me,
頼
please.
む任せよ
Leave it to me.
後のことはすべて任せ
Leave everything to me
眠
and sleep. The witch who had questioned Butler hid herself, and the other witch who had appeared from behind remained. She was certainly identical, the same witch, but her expression was somehow indifferent and ice cold, a far cry from the one who, before, thought apparently drunk, had been in high spirits.
おい
Though, aspetta, forse era though in high spirits, sì, though in apparently drunk, being in high spirits. Hey,
聞いてるのか
are you
テ
listening?
ストとやらはもう
That's
十分
enough
だ
for the test thing, right?
合格だろうと不合
Don't
格
give
だ
a
ろう
crap
と
whether I
どうで
passed
も
or
いいぜ
failed.
お前の横
The
っ面
only
を
thing
ぶん
that's
殴
gonna
ってやら
help
なきゃ
me
気が済まね
the way I'm feeling is bashing you in the
降りて
face.
きやがれ
Get the hell down
さ
here,
もなきゃ
or else
この
open up
扉
this
を開け
door.
やがれ
The witch said nothing back. Her eyes were ice cold as Butler's shoulders. She was clearly a different person from the one who first appeared on that balcony. The witch looked hard in my eyes and gave me 2 small shakes of the head. Even without words, I was able to gather that she was expressing, mamma mia, some kind of disappointment. Without saying anything, the witch turned on her heels. After that, only Butler remained, the cold rain still beating down on him. The study was in the middle of a lively party. It seems that Gap was making fun of Virgilia, teasing her over some stupid triviality. They were spitting lia 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 gap 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 at each other. Kinzo and Ronove had opened a new bottle and were enjoying the show. Oh, you're back. How were the results on Butler's test? Maria test got passing marks with no complaints, I'll have you know. I've long held in contempt as a worthless little urchin. But lo and behold, surprise, surprise, my oh my oh my. Not bad, not bad, not bad indeed. It seems that Kinzo was dead drunk. He left towards Beato with the same level of excitation as the time they've left for the tests. However, Ronova and Virgilia instantly noticed the change in her enthusiasm. Gap also froze his expression and went silent. What is it, Beatrice? My beloved witch. Not enough to drink? Not enough on the side? Let's go out in the pouring rain and roast a cow whole. Not a bad idea. Run over. Make the preparations right away. Beatrice, let's leave the results for Butler's test for later. Why don't we have a toast with spare ribs first? Roast yourself whole. As Kinzo doubled over laughing in a great mood, the witch who had spoken bluntly passed him coldly by. Then, behind the witch's back, the old summoner's body suddenly went up in flames. While spitting crimson flames from his eyes, mouth, nose, every hole on his body, Kinzo rolled around. Even though it was a terrible hellfire, it didn't burn anything except Kinzo. Kinzo didn't have a clue what was going on. He rolled around, unable to understand why Beatrice, who had been in such a good mood, had suddenly turned so cold. The dancing silhouettes of witches and demons created by the massive rolling torch looked like a group of excited spectators around a burning at a stake. However, the eyes of the demons watching over it were indifferent. When Kinzo finally stopped moving, the fire disappeared, leaving a pitch-black corpse. The insides of the room were commanded by the stillness of the sound of rain. What has happened, milady? It has lost its thrill. Clean up those bothersome cinders. Beatrice's expression was unbelievably apathetic. There was an iciness that told the others that they risked the same fate as Kinzo if they annoyed her. Yes, I will do it. Gap made a jet black pitfall swallow up Kinzo's cinders. If she hadn't carried out quickly, Gap might also have been burned. You could feel the thirst for blood. No, a thirst for blood probably isn't the best way to describe it. Just like humans don't have any particular emotion when they step on an ant while walking, that was how much, unconsciously and mercilessly, Beato was now filled with a brutal emptiness that wouldn't hesitate to bury a passerby. Is it, Beato? I don't want to answer. No, I can't even be bothered to answer anymore. What is it? This isn't like you. Did something happen? Did Butler say some... Beatrice hadn't even responded. It seemed that she had even ignored it. But there was a change in Gap. From her feet a cracking sound rose, like thin ice breaking. And in an instant turned Beato into a glass sculpture. Disappear for a while. I'm in a very bad mood. Beatrice spoke in a truly cold voice, which froze the heart just to hear it. Certainly. In that case,
これで
Please allow
おいとま
us
さ
to
せていただ
retire.
きます何かございま
If
し
you
た
need anything, you
It's
can
them.
call me at any time. After a single bow, Ronove turned into a cloud of gold butterflies and hid himself. Virgilia turned up from a sculpture into a group of gold butterflies, and then into a cloud of them herself, which mixed in with the others and disappeared. In the study made untidy by drinking, Beatrice stood still, alone. Since the time she had returned, her expression hadn't changed in the slightest. However, when she saw the fallen empty wine bottles and scattered cheese plates, her brow furrowed, and she looked a bit displeased. When she whispered disappeared, in that instant the room flashed and was tidy again, as though nothing had ever happened. Ciao CP, ci vediamo alla prossima. The reception chairs were neatly arranged, there was no wine or cheese, there were no stains where things have been spilled, and was there any scattered trash. To the contrary, even the air had frozen over, and enough to make one doubt whether so many noisy people really had been in this room until just a moment ago. The study had returned to total silence. In that silent, frigid study, where even the air had frozen, Beatrice stood still. Then she called him in a mutter.
バトラ
Butler,
いるか
you there?
さっきからいるぜ
Been here for a while.
何なんだ
What the hell is
一体
going
お
on
前
with
は
you?
さっきから変だ
You've
ぜ
been acting strange.
変に見える
Do I seem
か
strange?
それはすまな
My
い
apologies.
あれだけ上機嫌に酒
Even
を
though
酌
we
み
were
交わしてい
having
たク
such
ソ
a
じ
good
じいをい
time
きなり焼き捨
drinking,
て
you were having such a good time drinking with that damn old fart. You suddenly burn him
お前
up,
の友人の悪
and
魔
your
女
demoness friend is a glass
ガラスの
sculpture.
彫像悪魔の執事
Even
も
your
お師匠も
demon butler and your master gotta disappear and get the hell out.
お前
Just how
どん
fickle
だ
and
け気まぐれで
selfish
わ
are
がままなんだか
バトラ
Butler,
もうやめた
I'm done.
何を
With what?
わらわはも
I've done enough.
う飽きた
I've had enough now.
はあ
Huh?
そりゃまあ
You were the
Oh my
one who
God,
put this
game
game
does-
up. If you had
飽きて
enough,
くれて
that's
助
great
か
for
るって
me.
つまるとこ
So
ろ
basically,
棟梁ってわ
you're
けだな
resigning?
棟梁などで
I'm not
た
resigning.
だ終わるだけだ
Just ending it.
いや
No, I won't
終
even
わり
end
もし
it.
ないこのままゲ
The
ーム
game will simply be
永遠
abandoned
に放棄され
for
る
all
だけ
eternity.
そういうのを
Pretty
棟
sure
梁って
they
言う
call
んじゃ
that
ねえのかよ
resigning.
いや
Man, that word,
飽きて
that
放り
they
出す
were,
って
they
言葉
word
が
got tired of it and threw it away. Fit you perfectly.
その通り
Precisely.
飽きたから放
I'm
り
tired
出
of it and I'm throwing it away.
すあとは知ら
I
ない
don't care about the rest.
そのまま放置さ
Can
れ
remain abandoned and
好
gather
きに
dust as
誇りで
much
も
as
か
it
ぶればい
likes.
い
お前どうしたんだ
What's up with you?
なんだかさっきから
You've
やり
been
にくいぜ
kinda hard to deal with since a short while ago.
ま
You're
ださっ
still
きのわけのわかん
sour
ない
over
テスト
that
のことで
baffling
もう
test.
引いてるのかよ俺に恨みが
If
あ
you
るな
got
ら
something
はっ
against
きり言
me,
えばい
all
い
you
じゃね
have
え
to
か
do is say it clearly.
お前は赤で
If you say it in
自分
red
と
that
は
it has,
関係ない
it
な
has
んて言って
nothing
み
to
せ
do
たが
with you,
どうせ
that's
言
got
葉
to
遊び
be a
だろ
play on words, right?
お前の顔に書い
It's
てあるぜ
written all over your face.
俺を恨んで
You have a grudge against me.
お前に恨みなど
How
ない
many
何
times
度
I
言え
have
ばわ
to
か
say
る
that I have no grudge against you before you'll
わ
understand?
らわはそなたが
At
罪を
the
残した
time
そ
you
の
left
当
your
時
sin behind, I did
存在
not
しておらん
exist. Beato spoke with an irritated expression, her face twisted to look even more displeased. Fickle, inconsistent, moody, temperamental, selfish and simple-minded and cruel. But even so, she had never shown an expression as strange as this even once before now.
ま
Well, you were the one who instigated this game.
俺も決着がつか
I'm
ね
a
え
bit
のは
let
残
down
念だ
that
が
it won't get resolved, but
気が向い
feel
たら
free
ぜ
to
ひまた
invite me
誘って
again
くれよね
sometime if you feel like it.
その時は
But when that time
ご辞退させ
comes,
てもら
allow
う
me
け
to
どよ
politely decline, alright? He intentionally spoke in a teasing kind of tone, but Beato showed no reaction. Butler hung his head and clicked his tongue.
何度も何度も
I've circled around October 4th and 5th over and over again, but it looks like I'm finally going to be free of that, of all of that now. This way, my boat will come tomorrow. That's right. The seagulls will return to the harbor, and I'll finally be able to hear Rockenjima's signature Nya cries. After all, when I came to this island, they weren't there at all. Maybe because of the weather. Umineko no Naku Koroni. When the seagulls cry, everything will end, basically. Done and done, all over. The end. Man, what a relief.
何を
Exactly what is it that you're misunderstanding?
What
What do you mean by this?
何も終わらぬ
I said that
わらわ
nothing
は言っ
would
たぞ
end.
これにて全
With
ては
this,
放置され
everything will be abandoned.
ゲームは忘
The
れられ
game will be forgotten.
盤
And the
上の
pieces
駒
on
は
the
その
board
まま
will
に
be
放
left
置さ
where
れ
they lie.
進みも戻
There
り
will
も
be no
取りも
advancing,
取られもし
no retreating, nor taking or being
勝
taken.
ちもなく
No victory, no
負け
defeat,
もなく
not even a tie.
ただ放置される
Just abandoned.
つまりはおしまい
Doesn't that mean it's over?
違う
Wrong.
わらわの手
On
番
my turn,
永
the
遠に
game
ゲー
will
ム
stop
が
for
止
all
まる
eternity.
そなたの番は来ない
Your turn will not come.
だから
So,
勝ちも
will
負
be
けも
no
引き
victory,
分け
nor
も
defeat, nor tie.
かつてのわ
In
ら
the past, I could not allow
そ
you
な
to
たに
do
そう
that
さ
to
れる
me.
わけにはいかなかったそなたに
That
勝つ
was
という目
because I
的
had the
があ
goal
っ
of
た
victory against you.
しかし
However, I have lost
それ
interest
に
in
興
that.
味を失っただからこれ以
So,
上
there is no longer any point in me making any further moves.
俺に出番が来
What
な
do
い
you mean by my turn won't come? I thought that Beato's getting tired of the game because meant I'd be released and I'd be able to escape Rockenjima. But for some reason, the meaning of Beato's repeated words about the difference between abandoning the game and settling it was starting to bother me. What had she been saying, and why the bad mood? Suddenly, I heard a voice from behind me. When I turned around, there was someone I thought I might or might not remember from somewhere. A mysterious girl with no light in her eyes was standing there.
その子が言っているのはこういう意味よ。
What she means is something like
この
this.
ゲームが
Putting the
駒を
lid
その
back
ま
on
ま
the game,
蓋を閉じられ
leaving
る
the
という
pieces as they are.
ゲームは終わ
Without
ら
an
ないの。
ending, the game will be locked
永遠に
away for
留め
all
置かれ
eternity.
あんたが元の
The
世界
only
に
way
戻
for
る
you
こと
to
のでき
return to
る
your
唯一の
original
方法
world
は
is to
ベアト
win
に勝
against
利するこ
Beato.
とだけ。つまり
So
ベ
Beato
アトが
abandoning
ゲ
the
ーム
game
を放
would
棄しちゃうっ
mean...
てことはわかる？
Get it? Suddenly, in another place, was a girl wearing a bright pink dress. I had a feeling I met her somewhere too, but couldn't remember. More importantly, was the meaning of the words she said. The game being abandoned means... Huh?
そういうこと。
That's all there is to it.
勝負は敵
No
味方
match
が
can
揃わな
reach
く
its
て
conclusions
決着し
without
ない。
two opposing sides.
あなたには
It means that
も
you'll
う永
never be
遠
able
に
to win and
勝利して
escape
この
this
世
world
界から抜
for
け
all
出すことがで
eternity.
きないということ。
差し詰め。
In the
あ
end,
なたを
it's
閉じ
kinda
込め
like
た檻
taking
の
the
鍵
key
を
to the cage you're locked
ハ
in,
トの首輪にでもくく
fastening
り
it to
つ
the
けて
collar
飛
of
ば
a
してしま
pigeon
うよう
and
なものかし
something
ら。
or something and letting it fly, I guess.
冗談じゃないわ。
This
ベア
isn't
ト。
funny,
そ
Beato.
んなつまらない
We
ゲーム
didn't
を見
come
に
all the way
私
here
た
to
ちは
watch
は
a
るばるここ
boring
まで来
game
たわ
like
けじゃ
this.
ないのよ。これでゲームを
Just
教えて。
wrapping up
冗談
here?
じゃ
You
ないわ。
have to be kidding me.
ラムダに同じよ。
I'm with Lambda.
私はバト
I
ルに
came
勝
here
利
to make
させ
Butler win
あ
and
なた
to
を
make
敗
your
北させて
and to
の
make
た
you
うち回らせ
trash
るため
about
にや
in
ってきたの
defeat.
まだその目
I
的
still
を達
haven't
していない
achieved my goal.
こんなところでゲ
I
ーム放棄
couldn't
され
bear for
逃
any
げ出せ
game
る
to
感
be
じたまらな
I
い
couldn't bear for the game to be abandoned here for you to just run away on me.
今日らを失望させるゲームの幕
I
切れとなっ
acknowledge
た
that
こ
the
とは
way the
認
curtain
め
had fallen on this game had made for a disappointing end for you ladies.
しかし
However,
こ
I,
の
the
茶会
host
の
of
ホ
the
ス
tea
トたるわ
party,
らわは
am after
何
all
せ気
fickle.
まぐれ今日が冷めれ
Once
ば
the
もてな
fun
す
is
術
gone,
など
I
知ら
know
ぬ
no way of
も
entertaining.
とより
I believe
それがわ
that
ら
to
わの
be what
魔
makes
女
me
た
the
るゆ
witch
えんのは
I,
ず
I believe that to be what makes me the witch I am in the first
何
place.
も問題はな
There
かった
should be no problems with this.
確かに
True.
あなたの教義には反
I
しない
won't go against your creed.
私を認めない
I
の
won't stand for
ふ
this.
ざけんじゃないわよ
Don't you dare.
あんたに
How
どんな
much do you
肩入れ
think 've
したと思ってん
supported
の
you?
よ
How much do you think I've supported
ここ
you?
までお膳立
All
てさ
that
せてこれで
preparation.
はいお
And
し
you
まい
just want to pack it all now?
ふざけんじゃないわよ
I don't think so.
わらわは
I'm
飽き
saying that I have
た
tired
そう
of
言っ
it.
ているそれ以上もい
Nothing
いか
more,
もな
nothing less.
そうはいかないわ
It's
よ
not happening.
あんたにはこのゲーム
You
を
are
続けても
going
ら
to
うわ
continue this
バ
game.
トラーに勝利したいんでし
You
ょ
want to win against Butler, right?
勝って屈服させ
You
たいん
want
で
to
しょ
win and make him submit, right?
もう一息じゃない
You're almost there.
ね
Isn't she?
そこで俺
Don't
に
turn
じゃ
to
ね
me
え
for agreement. That said, I do have an opinion
俺にも
too.
意見はある言わせてくれ
If you let me say it.
何か
What?
こいつは
You
お
brought
前
this
に売られ
fight
た
to
から
my door.
俺はお前とは
I'm
っき
prepared
り
to
白
settle
黒をつ
this
ける
fight
覚悟があ
one
る
way or the other.
何度か屈服し
I've
かけ
come
た
close to surrendering many
途
times.
中で逃げ出して
But I've never had any
勝負を
intention of
うやむやにして逃
escaping
げるつもり
partway
だけ
through,
はさら
leaving
さ
the
らね
match undecided.
俺がここにいて
As long as I'm
戦う意
here,
志を見せている
showing
以
the
上
will to fight,
逃げるんじゃねえ
you don't go running away,
ベアトリーチ
Beatrice.
同感だわ
I agree.
バトラーを巻き込んでおい
Getting
て
Butler involved and
勝ち
then
も負け
leaving
も与え
without
ずに
giving him
立ち去るなんて
victory or defeat.
無責
Just
任にも程
beyond
がある
irresponsible. Then suddenly, even Gretel was there. And everyone was criticizing Beato for being irresponsible.
ほ
Hmm?
うどうやらわら
It
わが無
seems
責
that the
任だと
greatest
罵られる
reason I
最
am
大
being
の
called
理由
irresponsible
バトラ
is
ーが
that,
対
is
戦
that
相手として
Butler
と
would
ど
be
まっている
stuck
から
as
と
an
いうこと
opponent.
らしいならばバトラ
In that case,
ーお
Butler,
前もまた
will you step
わ
down
らわ
from
と
being
同
an
様に対
opponent
戦相手を降り
as
て
I
くれ
shall?
それでなら
That way, there
わらわ
will
は
be
批
no
判されることも
criticizing me for.
俺が降りると
If I step down,
Rokkenjima
will I
を出ら
be
れる
able to leave Rokkenjima?
出られるわけもなかろうが
Of course not.
勝手に誇りを
Just
浴
be
びて
covered in dust and let
肩に
it
でも積
pile
もらせ
on your soul, on your shoulders.
ふざけないで
Stop being so
なんて
stupid.
無責任な人なの
Just how irresponsible
あ
are
ん
you?
たはこれだけ大勢
You've
の人
killed
間を
all
殺
these
した
many people.
しかも
On top of
魔女の
that,
力
you're
によ
using your
っ
witch
て何度も
power.
何度も
You've done it over and over
無
again.
ごたらしい殺し
In
方で
gruesome
その
ways.
責任を取ら
There's
ず
no way I can allow you to
逃げ出す
escape
なんて
without taking
絶対に
responsibility.
許せない責任
Responsibility. Oh. What is it that?
わらわは
What
どの
is
よう
it
に
I
して
should do to take
その
this
責任
so-called
とやらを取ればいい
responsibility?
決着をつけるまで
Fight
戦い
until
なさい
resolution is reached.
バトラーは正面の席
Butler
に
will
座り
sit in the chair across
あなた
from
に
you,
打ち勝つまで
never giving up
決
and
して諦
fighting
めずに
until
戦
he
う
beats you.
だからあなたも
So you two
任さ
fight
れるまで
until
戦い
you
な
are
さい
defeated.
それが嫌なら
If you don't want that to
バトラーを任せ
happen,
てみ
then
せなさ
try
い
and defeat him.
許さない
I won't let you
全てを
leave
うやむや
everything
にして
unresolved and
バト
abandon
ラーをこの
Butler in
席に
this
放り出
chair.
して永遠に閉じ込めて
Lock him
返
up
さないなんて
forevermore and never let him
許さ
return.
ない
I won't let you.
グレーテル
Gretel, to be perfectly honest, I didn't really understand from what standpoint Gretel was trying to save me, but in her words, I could feel a strong determination to save me from this crazy game world, no matter what. So I responded to that. So I
Beato.
also responded to that.
こ
Beato,
っちを向け
face this way.
俺はここにいる
I am
お前
here,
の正面
across from you, in the
ライバル
rival
の席
seat.
だわかるな
Get
俺
it?
がここに座り
As
続け
long
る
as I
限り
continue to sit
お前
here,
に
I
逃げ
won't
は
permit you to escape.
だから逃げるな
So don't run away.
戦え
Fight. Tadakai!
お前が始めた戦いだろうが
You started this fight, damn it.
これだけ何度
All
も
the
何
crap
度も
you've
上等を
pulled
決め
again
や
and
がって
again and again. Look at the shit show you turned this whole thing
今
into.
さら飽きたで
And
終わら
now,
せられる
after
かよ
this time, you think I can let you end it because you're tired of it?
俺はお前の対戦
I
相
am
手
your opponent.
俺がここにある限
As
り
long as I'm here, there's no way I'm letting you escape.
聞いてるのか
Are you
この無
listening?
責任
You
魔女
goddamn witch of responsibility.
なんとか言ってみろって
Why
んだ
don't you say something? After I yelled at her, Beato went silent for a while. Whether my words had reached her or whether she was thinking about something completely different, I couldn't tell. But for a while she was silent, gazing at me with an expression I could read no emotion from. And when she realized that I noticed, she averted her gaze. Then she turned her back to me and said this.
バトラが対戦相手
So,
をやめて
you
くれる以
lady said
上
that since Butler
こ
will
の
not
ゲーム
quit
を
as
放
my
棄するこ
opponent,
とは認めら
you
れない
cannot accept my abandonment
今
of
日
this
らは
game.
おっしゃるわけかならばと
In that case, I shall ask
そもそも
whether the man
そこに
over
いる
there
男
was qualified to be my
わらわの
opponent in
対
the
戦
first
相手たる
place.
資格があるのかどうか
資格
Qualified?
当然
Probably has
さっき
something
の
to
テス
do
トとや
with
ら
the
のことだ
test
ぜ
or whatever just now.
何をする
What are you planning to do?
あんたまさか
You aren't gonna.
これより
I will now question
そなた
you
に
to
わらわの
determine
対
whether
戦
or
相手た
not
る
you
資
are
格があるか
qualified
どう
to
か
be my opponent.
良いか
Listen now, Butler.
その資格が認
If
められれ
those
ば
qualifications are acknowledged, I will stay in my seat,
ゲームを
continue
続
the
ける
game.
そして
And I shall promise to
勝敗の
fight
決
for
着が
all
つくまで
eternity until
永
the
遠に
outcome
戦い
is
続けるこ
decided.
とを約束しよう
俺にはもとより
I was ready
そ
for
の
that,
覚悟
for
はある
that
ぜ
from the beginning.
しかし
However,
その資格がなか
if
った
you
ら
are not qualified,
そなたは消えよ
you will
対
disappear.
戦相手が
If
消
the
えれ
opponent
ばゲー
disappears,
ムもない
there is no game.
わらわは堂々と
I
こ
can
こを
leave
立
this
ち去れる
place openly.
今日らもよろしいか
Are you ladies
口
satisfied?
出しは無用
I will not permit interruptions.
どうぞ
Go ahead
お好きなよう
and do as you like. But
バトラ
Butler,
あんた
you make sure you answer well.
資格があるからこそ
The very reason I'm
俺は
here
ここに
is
いるん
because
だ
I'm
ろ
qualified, right? There's
何
nothing
も
to be
怯えることなん
scared
ざねえ
of.
ぜ
まさか
Couldn't be. Gretel grew suddenly pale. I thought her to be the calm, collected type, so her expression surprised me.
それではバト
Well then,
ル
Butler,
赤で復唱して
I
も
shall
らう
have you repeated in red.
お
You,
俺に
you're
復唱を
giving
送
me
ってた
a repetition request? Damn you,
俺
stealing
の
my
お箱を
signature
奪いや
move.
がってしかし
But can I
赤き真
do
実って
red truth?
俺だってできる
Red
のか
truth too?
どうやるんだ
How? Just
そうだ
will it to
念じれ
be
ば
so and you can do it.
簡単よ
It's easy.
俺の名は後ろ
My
宮バ
name
ト
is
ル
Ushiromiya Butler.
お
Whoa!
おーこりゃ
Oh,
面
pretty
白いや
cool.
やめて
Stop it!
あんたの狙いは読めて
I
るわ
know what you're
で
after.
もそれはやめて
But don't do it.
彼は
He's. When Gretel yelled, Beato glared at her, and her form was wiped away in an instant.
うるさい
Shut up!
そなたはし
You
ばらく
leave
席を
your
外
seat
せ
for a while.
今日らもであ
You
る
too, ladies.
口出しをする
If
な
you're
ら
going to interfere, I will
Yours.
not hold back.
邪魔はしない
We won't get in the way.
どうぞご
Go
自
ahead.
由
Do as you like.
ベル
Man, this is bad.
あいつ
She's trying to erase him. She's trying to erase Butler.
なんだと
What
あいつ
is she
何を企んでやがれ
doing here?
それでは
Well then, I shall
資格を問う
question your qualifications.
面
Interesting.
白いな普段のゲームが
Attack and defense are reversed from a normal
これ
game.
は最後の最後
It is a
で
very precious experience
貴重な
coming at the very, very end.
良いか
Ready. First,
心して待つ
listen carefully.
まずはわらわ
I
が
will speak
赤で
with the red first.
わらわは黄金の実
I am the
Beatrice.
golden witch
そ
Beatrice.
して
I
後ろには
opened this
金
game
蔵
in
の
order to fight Ushiromiya's
後ろには
king's
バトラーと
grandchild,
戦うために
grandchild
こ
Ushiromiya
のゲーム
Butler.
を開催した
そんなことは知って
I
る
know
だ
that.
からなんだ
So what?
気象要求
Repetition requested.
後ろ宮バトラー
Ushiromiya's
の母
butler mother is
後ろ
Ushiromiya
宮アスム
Azumu.
であ
は
What?
あそこでなんで
Why is my
お前が出てくるん
mom's
だよ
name popping up all of a
る
sudden?
裏口はいらぬ
I do not require chatter,
Aka
just
de
repeat it in
Shose.
red. Beato urged me with the same indifferent tone, but I don't have a clue what she's trying to do. I've done absolutely nothing wrong that I hate to be confronted with, and there's nothing that I'm hiding. There's nothing she could demand for me to repeat that would cause me any trouble. So why something like this?
いいぜ
Sure, I repeat it.
後ろ宮バトラの母は
Ushiromiya's
Ushiromiya
butler
Asumu de aru.
mother is Ushiromiya Azumu.
赤ベ
The
リー
red sure is convenient.
戸籍抄本を持ってくる面倒
No
もね
need to bother myself with bringing a copy of the family register.
裏口はいら
I
ぬ
do not require chatter.
続けるぞ
I will continue.
そなたの名は
Your name is
後ろ宮
Ushiromiya
バトラー
Butler.
うん
Sure.
俺の名は
My name is
Ushiromiya
Ushiromiya Butler.
後ろ宮バトラー
Is It was from Ushiromiya Azumu that Ushiromiya Butler was born.
後ろ宮バトラは
It was from Ushiromiya Azumu that Ushiromiya Butler was born.
そなたは
It was from Ushiromiya Azumu that you were born.
俺は
It was from Ushiromiya. All of a sudden, my throat closed. He was suddenly assaulted by a shortness of breath that I felt he had been that I have been choked. What's going on? One more time.
俺は
I
後ろ宮アスムか
I
ら
was
生
from
まれた
Ushiromiya Azumu. It was from Ushiromiya Azumu that I was born. Damn it.
俺は後
It
ろ
was
宮
from
アスムから
Ushiromiya
生ま
Azumu
れ
that
た
I was born.
なんだ
What the hell?
さっきまでは簡単にできてたのに
I was doing it a second ago.
君赤がうま
I
く
suddenly
できなかった
stopped being able to get the red to work.
負傷を拒否する
You decline to repeat it?
拒否なんかじゃ
No,
ない
I'm not
な
declining.
ぜかうまくいか
It's
ねえ
not
んだ
working for some reason.
俺は
It
後
was
ろ
from
宮
Ushiromiya
アスム
Azumu
から
that
生
I
まれ
was
た
born.
なんでだ
Why?
畜生
Damn
なん
it.
で赤が使えないん
Why
だ
can't I use the red?
そんなバカな
Hell. My mom is Ushiromiya Azumu. Why can't I say that fact in red? What's going on? Is it...
語れぬ赤を無理に語ろう
If
と
you
す
try
る
to forcefully speak red that cannot be spoken, you will choke.
無理をしなくて
There is no need to strain yourself.
以上の事実
Allow me to use the aforementioned fact to press you in
青
blue.
で追求させてもらう覚えている
Do you remember? The blue is to use
相
to
手を否
proclaim
定
a
する
theory
仮
for
説
the
を宣言す
opponent
る
to
ので
deny.
それは赤
They
で
are
否定
then
が義務付け
burdened
られる
with the responsibility of denying that in red.
勝利
And if they do not, then it is victory.
では
Then, let me begin.
以上の復唱
Due
要
to the previous repetitions request and refusal to repeat, I proclaim that you are
そな
not
たに対戦
qualified
相
to
手
be
の
my
資格がない
opponent.
ことを宣言するなぜなら
After all,
後ろ宮
Beatrice
金蔵の
opened this
孫で
game
あ
in
る
order
後
to
宮
fight
バ
with
トラーと戦うため
Ushiromiya
に
Kinzo's
ゲー
grandchild,
ムを開催し
Ushiromiya
た
Butler.
よって
This gave you the responsibility, as my opponent, to declare in red that you are Ushiromiya's Kinzo grandchild,
赤
Ushiromiya
で宣
Butler.
言する義務が生じそれに対する
You declined to repeat
これは
that. It means
資
the
格の
loss
喪
of
失
your
を意味するもの
qualifications.
である
Denying something about that in red. Quickly! Sure. I
俺は後ろ宮
am Ushiromiya Butler.
それを赤で復唱
Given
でき
that
てい
I'm
る以上
able to repeat that in red,
俺は
that
お
should
前
mean
の
that
対
I
戦
am
相
your
手のはず
opponent.
だぜ
そなたが
It
後
may
ろ
be,
宮バト
it
ラ
may
ー
be a
を持つ
fact that your name is Ushiromiya Butler.
しかし
However,
人名は独占された
People
もので
names are not exclusive.
複数の人
It is
間が
possible for multiple
Ushiromiya
humans
Butler を何も
to
持つ
have
こ
the
とは
name
可能で
Ushiromiya
ある
Butler.
すなわちこういうこ
When
と
it comes down to this,
どなたは
you
後
are
ろ
a
宮
different
アスム
person with the same and last names as Ushiromiya Azumu's son,
同
Ushiromiya
姓同
Butler.
名の別人である
What?
バカなこと言
Don't
う
be
じゃん
stupid.
俺はお袋の子だぞ
I'm my mom's kid.
後ろ宮アスムの子
Ushiromiya
だ
Azumu's kid.
俺は後ろ
He was from
宮アスム
Ushiromiya
から
Azumu.
畜生
What?
なぜだ
Why?
なぜ
Why can't I say that I was
お
born
袋
from
か
my
ら生まれた
mom?
と言えないんだこんなバカな
Could
ことがある
something
と言える
so
のか
stupid be true?
苦しむことは
No
ない
need to
わら
suffer.
わは朝
I will not toy with you.
これに
This is
チェック
checkmate.
メイトそなたは
You are not
後
Ushiromiya
ろ宮アスムの息子
Azumu's
ではない
son. What?
そんなバカ
Kidding me?
そなたは誰
Who are you?
後ろ宮バトラーを
What
名乗
person calling themselves Ushiromiya Butler? What person calling themselves Ushiromiya Butler?
ちょっと
Wait a
待て
second.
よ
I am Ushiromiya Butler.
俺は後ろ
It
宮ア
was
スム
from
から生
Ushiromiya
まれた
Azumu that I was born. I'm my mom and dad's son.
いいえ
No,
わらわの
there
対
is
戦
no
相手
way
は
that you are the Ushiromiya
である
Butler with the qualifications
Nai.
as my opponent.
その証
And as proof,
証拠だと
proof,
拠そなたは
you do not know of the
6
sin
年前の
6 years
罪
ago.
そ
That's
いいや
no. If you
真
were
の
the true
Ushiromiya
Ushiromiya
Butler
Butler, you would
罪など
not
犯さ
commit
な
a sin.
だが
But consequently, a sin did occur. A span of 6 years
6
became
年
a
の
blank
月日が空
space.
白となって
And a man who knew nothing of that time appeared on Rokkenjima, calling himself Ushiromiya Butler. The truth of all of it goes like this. 6 years ago, the true Ushiromiya Butler, qualified to be my opponent, was already dead. You were involved in a plot by Rudolph having something to do with the distribution of the inheritance. A body double set up in Ushiromiya Butler's place. I've never heard anything so stupid. It's just absurd. Butler, get hold of yourself! Well, if he can't counter back, there's nothing more to do. Butler did not possess the qualifications. That's how it is. Are you okay with that, Ben? If you accept that, you lose too, you know? And you win. Why are you taking Butler's side? How disappointing, Butler. It really is disappointing that you didn't have the qualifications to be Beatrice's opponent. I was careless myself. I can't believe I bet on an unqualified piece. You defeated me utterly, Beatrice. There is no victory or defeat. The opponent will simply disappear. Perhaps I should say that he was never there in the first place. Who am I?
俺は親父やおふくろの子じゃないのかよ。
I'm not mom and dad's kid.
俺は誰なんだ。
Who am I? What am I?
なんだ。おふくろの子じゃない
I'm
って
not mom's kid, then what? Are you saying some total stranger's kid with no relation to them all? If that's the case, it would mean that you do not share Kinza's blood. Either way, you're not qualified to compete in this game. Enough. I was slightly aware that you might not be Ushiromiya Butler in the first place. So, I had to question you. I had to ask about something the real Butler would have known. What a shame. I even bet on the one in a quadrillion chance of a miracle. That you might really be Ushiromiya Butler. However, it looks like you're a different person with the same first and last names after all. Bit by bit, Butler's form began to be clouded in darkness. No, maybe it was the other way around. The whole world was becoming clouded in darkness, even leaving only Butler behind. Butler was down on all fours, hanging his head and repeatedly questioning himself. However, he would never be given an answer. In the world stained with darkness, Beato spoke something, and Lambda Delta ran up to Butler, yelling something very quickly, but it already seemed very far away, and it didn't reach his ears. Then he, not knowing who he was, erased himself. Now the opponent had disappeared. Well then, if you would excuse me. And ladies, you should prepare for your journey. No more festivities are prepared for you in my territory. It was good seeing you. Goodbye. Without saying anything more, Beato clouded her own form in darkness as well and disappeared. You alright with this? Butler disappeared, you know? Someone who hates losing as much as you is okay with this? Who hates losing as much as you do? Go back. Weren't you betting on my defeat? Then you should be over the moon. Congrats, Lambda. Well then, let's meet up again in another world, okay? That said, there are endless fragments worlds out there. The probability of us having some connection again somewhere is probably truly less than 1 in a quadrillion. Alright,
楽しかったわ
it was fun.
バイバイ
Bye bye.
待ってよベル
Hey, wait up, Ben! Chasing after Berncastle, who had disappeared first, Lambda Delta disappeared as well. Then, after everyone had disappeared, there was no one left in the study. It returned to silence, almost as though no one had been there in the beginning. No one was here in the first place. The silent study told that wordlessly, and the sound of the wind and rain began to fill the room bit by bit. In a world where everything had sunk into darkness, Beato questioned herself.
やはり
The fact is,
魔法は初
from
め
the
から
very beginning, magic
Mariage
should only have been
sorcière
used
の
within
中だけで
Mariage Sorcière.
使うべきであった
そうだね
Yes,
マリアも
I
エン
thought
ジェの
that
時
too.
にそう思っ
When
たよ
Ange happened,
な。魔女同盟は
the Witches' Alliance began with you and me.
その二人で始まっ
Just two people.
他のものを混ぜようと
Mixing
いう
in other people was the first
そもそも
mistake.
がまず
こんなにも楽しい
It
から
was just so much fun.
マリアたちは
That's why we
その
wanted
輪
to
に
add
親し
other
い誰
people
かを
close
加
to
えたか
us
った
in
よ
that
ね
circle.
そうして
And in that
魔
way,
女同盟
we
が
wished
ど
for
こ
the
までも
Witches'
大きく
Alliance
なっ
to
て
grow forever larger.
みんなで楽し
So
く魔法が
everyone
使
could
え
have
て
fun using magic
幸せに
together.
なれたらと
And
願
all
っ
would
た
become happy.
だ
But in the end,
魔法を理
you
解で
and
きる
I were the only ones able to
やはりわら
understand.
わとそなた二人だけだった
私たちは奇跡が巡り合わせたこの世界でたった2人しかいない魔女マリアはもうベアトさえいれば他には誰もいらないよ
We're the only two witches in this world, brought together by a miracle. As long as I have you, Beato, I don't need anyone else anymore.
わらわもだ
Right.
そなたさえいれ
As long as you are here,
ばもう
we
誰
no
も
longer need anyone else.
マリアージュ・ソルシエールは
In the very
結
first
成したその
moment
一番
that
最初の
Mariage
時点
Sorcière,
でもう
Mariage
完成していた
Sorcière
んだ
was
よ
formed, was already complete.
そう
That is
ある
so.
なまさに
That is truly. That
そう
is
であ
true.
る
So. It was a witches' alliance to make everyone happy together with magic. I wonder when it got this screwed up. What was I trying to do when I started this game? I can't really remember even that. No, I may remember, but that's a feeling now I wish to throw away to the far side of oblivion.
いいよ
It's alright.
何もかも
Let's just
忘れて
forget
しまおう。
everything, okay?
2人だけの
Our little
Mariage
two-person
Sorcière.
mariage sorcière.
私たちは
We'll accept
互い
each
に
other,
認め合うそして
and no one
誰にも
will
傷つ
be
け
able
ら
to
れない
hurt us.
だからもう傷つか
So
ない
we won't be hurt anymore. We won't
す
cry.
べて忘れよ
Let's forget everything.
うねベア
Okay,
と
Beato?
私たちは
We are
永遠
eternal.
だよ
マリ
Yeah. 'Minchia, però iniziamo così. Minchia, però finire una parte così, lasciarla in sospeso così. Niente, eh? Proviamo a vedere, sì. No, forse dovrei guardare which side. Ah, ci sono solo loro due. Oddio. Fighissima come cosa che ci sono solo loro due. Ah, ma cosa Could you turn that off?
おっと
My
それは
bad.
失礼 M ザッキーは
You
起き
don't
る
like Amzaki?
今が気分じゃないだけ
Just not in the mood. Amakusa turned the radio off. The world of cheery noises, cheery sounds was immediately swallowed up by the roar of the sea and blotted out by the ocean's grey.
見えるかい
See it?
あの辺が当時の
Over
船着き場
there
だ
where the harbor was at the time. The boat captain pointed, but I couldn't really recall how it looked 12 years ago. I believed that my memories of back then would come flooding back into my mind, but no memories were coming back to me at all. After the incident, the island was sealed off and left to the wild. Probably that's understandable, I had to tell myself, to stop myself from feeling somehow sad and hurt. But I at least remember one thing. You could say that it would probably be the same anywhere on the sea, but at least this one thing I do remember. The cries of the seagulls. I do remember those. I almost never went to the ocean when I was young, so to me everything that symbolized the ocean meant Rokkenjima and my family getting together. In short, it was a symbol for the happiness of going out with my family. However, at this point in time, it even seemed doubtful whether that was happiness at all. In my younger days, the trip had felt like a relaxed family vacation, but considering my parents' situation at the time, it was surely a very difficult trip to handle, with the distribution of the inheritance filling the place with smell of flaring tempers and fuses about to blow. But I can remember giggling all over the place, completely ignorant of my parents' feelings.
六軒島
Rokkenjima,
で
is
す
it?
かいすべての
The
始まり
beginning
で
of everything
すべ
and
て
the
の
last
旅の
stop
終着
of our
駅ってわけ
journeys.
だ
Amakusa tried too hard in an attempt to speak from my innermost feelings. The boat slowly rounded the island. As the angle changed, I hoped that my memories of the island silhouette at the time might come back just a little, but in the end, even as the inlet was completely hidden by the cliffs, I wasn't able to remember anything.
船長
Captain,
さっきの
the thing you
もう一
mentioned
つの船着き
about
場
the
の話を
other
聞かせてく
harbor,
ださい
please tell me about it.
うん六軒島には
They
船着
say
き場は一つし
Rokkenjima
か
only's
ないこ
got
とになった
one harbor,
だがそれは
but
表
that's
向きだ
only its outward appearance.
島裏のもう一つ
An
の隠
extra
され
hidden
た船着き
harbor
場
on the back of the island.
六軒島そのものね
That's Rokkenjima all
誰
over.
も知らない二つ目の
It has a second face which no one knows about.
六軒島は
Rokkenjima is an island in the
後ろ宮家の領有
possession
する
of the
島だ
Ushiramiya family.
だが
But
金
there's
蔵さん
another
個人が
face,
所有する島
an
と
island
いうも
owned
う
by
一つの顔が
Kinzo-san personally.
一つの島
One
二つ
island,
の船着き
two
場
harbors,
二つ
two
の名所
mansions.
です
Is
ね
it?
愛人を囲うため
He
だ
sure
けに
spent a lot
随分
just so he
金を
could
かけ
keep
た
a
もんだ
mistress.
もう一つの船着き場のことを知る人間
So
は
he could keep a mistress. Who knew about this other harbor?
限られとる
Not many.
金蔵さん
Kinzo-san,
羊の
Genji-san,
源
the
氏さ
butler.
んわしら船の関
Those
係
of
者
us involved with the boats.
高齢の使用人がほん
Very
の数
small
人だ
numbers of the oldest servants.
南城診療所の
But
先代
last
先生
owner
も
of the Ananjo
熊沢の
clinic
ばあ
and
さんも
Kumasawa Basan knew as well.
数えりゃ結構いるような気がす
Naming
る
you
が
off like this
とにか
makes
く
it
知って
sound
いる
like
人
there
間は
were a
わずか
bunch
だ
of them, but I tell you, it was only a very small number who knew. Madonna, questo tizio ci dà delle bombe. Adesso sappiamo che del Quadorian sapevano Kinzo, ovviamente, Genji, Nanjo e Kumasawa. E vabbè, i tizi che facevano le consegne con la barca. Giustamente, se devi costruire e mantenere un secondo mansion segreto dall'altra parte dell'isola, le cose da fuori devi far venire, non puoi farlo da solo. Quindi vabbè, teneva tutto quanto in segreto, però qualche persona doveva saperlo. Fa ridere perché la famiglia non lo sapeva, e invece la povera servitù che non conta niente lo sapeva invece.
そのもう一つ
Almeno
の
quelli
屋敷に
importanti
ついて
della servitù.
教えてください
Please tell me about the other mansion.
クワドリアンっていう名前のお屋敷がある
All
と
I
だ
was
けは
told is
聞かされ
that
とった
there's a mansion called Quadorian.
わしは船を離れ
I
るこ
wasn't
とを
allowed
許
to
され
leave
ん
the
かった
boat,
から
so I never
一
once
度も
saw
見
the
たことは
place
ない
though.
が
船着き場からは見えないくらい
So it
に
was
遠
far
いと
away
いう
enough
ことで
that
す
you
か
couldn't see it from the harbor.
わからん
Beats me,
ただ隠し屋
but
敷
it
だ
was
か
a
らな
hidden mansion after
外
all.
からは見えん場
Probably
所
was
に
built
建
where
て
you
てあった
can't
ろうな
see it from the
と
outside.
にかく
Anyways, Quadorian was the
あ
island's
の
biggest
島の最
secret.
高の秘密だった
クアドリアンに
There's a theory that Beatrice was being made to live in
あるい
Quadorian,
は幽閉さ
or
れてい
else
た
was
という
being
説があります
confined
が
in there.
船長はどう
What
考
do
え
you
ます
think,
か
Captain?
わしはクワドリアン
I
への雑
carried
貨
over
も運んでおっ
sundries
た
meant for Quadorian too.
その中に
Oftentimes
女しか
that
使わん
includes
ような
stuff only women
それも
would
高
use,
級なもん
and
が含ま
fancy
れること
stuff
も多かっ
at
た
that.
わしもその説
No
を確
doubt
信
in
し
my
とる
mind that theory is true. Beh, noi sappiamo che fino al 1967 la Beatrice umana ha vissuto a Quadorian prima che morisse tragicamente in quell'incidente.
では船長はベアトリーチェって
So
女を
does that mean
直
that
接
you
見
never
たこと
saw
は
this
ないわけですか
Beatrice woman directly, Captain?
ない
Never.
20年近く出
Came
入りを
and
した
went
が
for close to
一度も見
20
たことはない
years and never saw her once.
20年
20 years? Phew,
ってこと
that's
は
at least
最低で
plus
も年齢プラス
20 onto
20
her
ってわけ
age.
だこりゃ
Well, that shoots down my hopes for a mademoiselle.
だが
But
ク
one
ワド
day,
リアンへの
bang,
出入りは
all
ある
trips
日を
to
境
and
に
from
すっかりとな
Quadorian
くなっちまっ
stopped.
た今からだいた
That
い
was
30
about
年前だから
30 years
昭和
ago,
43
so
年頃だったと
around
思う
1968, I think. Sappiamo perché.
ぷっつりと
Bang?
突然
You mean suddenly?
食料やゴミなど
We'll
の
come
運
by the
搬往
back
来
on
で
a specified schedule to carry food and trash one way or the other.
ああ裏っちゅうの
Oh,
は
when I say the back, I mean the harbor on the
クワドリアン側のことだ
Quadorian side.
わかります
I get it. So then?
ある日
So one day, I got a sudden message from Genji-san.
別の指示があ
And he
るま
tells
で
me,
裏には行かなく
until
てい
you
い
hear differently, we don't need you to come back to go to the back
別
anymore.
の指示とは
And did you hear differently?
特にはなかっ
Not in
た
particular.
早い話が
To cut a
あ
long
る日
story
突然
short,
裏
one
には
day
今後
suddenly
定期
I
便はい
was
らない
told that they
食
didn't
料
need
も届
regular
けなくていい
service
と
at the
言われ
back
たわけだ
anymore and not to bother taking food there either.
わしは最初クビにされた
Though
の
I
か
had
と思
been
った
given to, I thought I'd been given the boot at
だが
first.
す
It
ぐに気づ
wasn't
いた
long before I
それに
realized, and I
クワ
think
ドリ
I
アンの
got
こ
a
とを知る
picture
使
from
用
the
人たち
reaction
の
of the
様子から
servants who
も
knew of the
なんと
Quadorian
なく
as
察し
well.
がついた
ベアトリーチェの
Beatrice
死
died,
後
and there was no longer any need to take
世
food
話
or
人を
people
送る
to
必要
care
も
for her.
なくなった
わしはそう考
That's
え
what
た
I think.
それっきり
I never been
裏へ
told to
船を
take
出せ
another
という
boat
指
to
示
the
は
back
受けてない
since.
しかし
But after
裏につい
that,
ては死ぬまで何
Genji-san
も喋
came
る
to
な
see me face to face.
その後
Got
源氏
really
さんが直
pushy,
接わしのと
demanding
ころへ
me
来
to
て
take everything
えら
about
く
back
強く
with
念
me
を
to
し
the
た
grave.
その
So,
20年間も
that
放置され
hidden
てい
mansion
た
was
隠し屋敷に
abandoned for 20
どう
whole
してエヴァおば
years.
さんが
Why was Aunt Eva there? On that day, 12 years ago, Ushiromi Eva somehow escaped harm alone in a hidden mansion 2 kilometers away from the regular mansion. Why was she in a hidden mansion that had been forgotten for 20 years?
ワイドショーで見た
I
よ
saw that on the talk
わ
shows.
しにも何が
Even
何だ
now I
かさっ
can't
ぱりわからん
make head or
エ
tails
ヴァ
of
さん
that.
を裏へ案内
Not
したことは
once
一
did
度
I
もない
show Eva's sons to the
ど
back.
うして
I don't
どう
have
や
the
って
first
クワド
damn
リアンを知
clue
り
how she
た
knew
どり
about
着いたのか
Quadorian or how she
わし
got
には
there.
さっぱり見当もつかない
裏のクアドリア
I
ンに
wonder if it was
陸路
possible
で
to
行
go
く
to
こと
the
は
back
不
where
可能だったのかしら
Quadorian is by land.
もしも話通りに
If,
未
as we
開の
heard, the
密林だ
forest
と
was
したら
dense and
おめ
uncultivated,
かしした奥
I
様不全
seriously
にどう
doubt
が
a
できるもんじゃあ
well-dressed
りません
lady
ぜ
person be able to push through
じゃあ
it.
帰るわ
So what about the
モーター
sea?
ボートみたいなもの
Maybe
が
there
あっ
was
た
a
とか
motorboat or something.
まさか
Are you kidding?
あの二晩の台
That
風は
two-nighter
そり
typhoon
ゃ
was
ひどいもんだった
awful.
船なんぞ使
No
える
way
わ
you
けも
could
ない
use a boat. No way you could have used a boat.
じゃあ屋敷
What
と
if
ク
there
アドリアンを
was
直通する
an underground passage or
例えば
something
地下
between
通
the
路のよう
mansion
な
and the
ものがあったとか愛
Quadorian?
人の家へ
It
出
would
入り
have
する
been
の
a
に
pain to have
毎
to
回
charter
船の
a
用立てが
boat
必要な
each
んて
time he
面
wanted
倒
to
でしょ
visit his mistress' house, right?
全長 2km の
A
ロッケン
tunnel
上の
long
対
enough
角
to
線上
connect
に
two
存在する屋
mansions
敷を
on
つなぐた
opposite
めに
sides of a
そん
2
だけの
kilometer
長い地下
island
ト
like
ンネルを
Rokkenjima.
バカにしたい
Well,
ところ
I'd
だ
like
が
to laugh at the
愛人の
thought,
た
but
めに隠し
this
屋
is
敷
a
まで
guy
作っ
so
ちまう
rich he made a whole hidden mansion for his mistress.
それも否定
So I
できない
can't
ところです
deny
ね
the possibility.
どうなんですか
What do you think, Captain?
わしは海の人間
I'm a
だ
man of the
穴
sea.
のことはわか
No
らん
good asking me about holes.
だが
But the
硫黄
Japanese
島で旧日
military
本軍
dug
は
25
25
kilometer
キロのトンネルを
tunnels
掘
in
ってみせ
Iwo
た
Jima.
ぞあの金蔵さんなら
It wouldn't surprise me
2キロ
one
くらい
bit
掘ってみせ
if
ても
the King's
わしは
son
何も
could
驚
dig
かん
at least two.
やっぱりおかしな
This
島
really
ね
is a strange island.
私たちはこの島
Even
のこと
now,
を
not one of us really
未だ
knows
誰
a
一人
thing about it. Oh, stiamo arrivando. Siamo arrivati. The boat reached the shore. There would be a short walk to reach the mansion.
わしはここで待っている
I'll wait here.
屋敷は向こ
The
うだ
mansion's that way.
当時の道が残っているだろう
Path
が
from back
草木
then
で
is
覆われ
probably
てしまってい
still
るはず
there, but I bet it's covered with
だ迷わ
plants.
んように気をつけ
Make
て
sure
な
you don't get yourself lost.
ほんじゃ行きましょう
Right?
かね
Off we go
あ
then.
りがとう天草
Thanks,
あんたも
Amakusa.
ここで待ってて
But you wait here too.
まそう言
I
い
had
出
a
すんじゃ
feeling
ない
you'd
かと
say
思
that.
ってました
届け物をするだけよ
I'm just delivering
あな
something.
たが一緒だと
You just be
向こうが
trouble
迷
for
惑する
them
の
if you're with me.
あんたの毒素
I
強そう
imagine
だ
your toxin is strong.
毒素
Sin?
はて
すぐに戻るわ
I'll be back soon.
今日の本命は
Our main
クワ
goal
ドリアの
today
方だもん
isn't Our main goal today is
届け
Quadorian.
物をしたら
After I
すぐ
deliver
に戻って
this,
くるわ
I'll come right back. Angie put on her knapsack and grabbed the flowers she was planning to offer.
察してやれ若いの
Take the hint, young gun.
行ってこいお嬢ちゃん
Go on, gal.
あんたの家族
Your
が待って
family
い
is
る
waiting for you. I've never been on a road like this, but I had no trouble finding my way. If I walked straight ahead, probably guide me to the final destination for everything. The vegetation certainly was incredible, and you would lose track of the path if you were careless enough to let your attention drift. But the road that was left was much better than I had imagined. Still, that didn't change the fact that it was a bad road. Contrary to the distance shown on the map, I was forced to walk a long way. The forest was deep and dark. At the time, I had been threatened into staying away from the forest because a witch lived there. Of course, that fear is gone now, but I feel it. Other people will not be able to, but I can feel the presence, like an aura, of the Golden Witch Beatrice. Massive, oddly shaped rocks scattered here and there, overgrown trees and ivy, the voices of birds and bugs. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel that the witch is here. Ahead, an ivy-covered construction site fence and warning sign stood. No entry, Tokyo Metropolis. That was written on it. All right. When you think Tokyo, you tend to think of a city, but address-wise, even Rokkenjima is rightfully part of Tokyo Metropolis. Apologizing to the sign for my mistaken impression, I climbed over the fence. When I made it up the steep slope behind that, my field of vision rapidly expanded, and a fresh sea breeze blew right through my hair. It was like the top of a little hill. Below me was a vast view of the island. I could only see desolated forest and rocky crags spread out below me, but somehow I realized that the mansion was probably somewhere around there. The steep downward slope beyond this hill was probably being caused by the landslide from 12 years of wind and rain. It had become a slant filled with crags that you might even call gentle cliffs. And though it would be easy to tumble down, it looked like climbing back would be pretty difficult. It seems that proceeding any further would be impossible. If I continued any further, I wouldn't be able to return. In other words, this is the border between 1986 and 1998. That day and today. And this world and the other. This is
ここがこの旅の終着
this
点みたい
journey
ね。
final destination, it seems. As the strong wind blew Mammon and Sakutaro's hair, they looked down from the hilltop.
ここからじゃさっぱ
Can
り
you
わ
make
からない
out
わ
a thing from here?
お屋敷はどこ？
Where's the mansion?
もっと近づきまし
Let's
ょう
get
よ。
closer.
無理
Will you?
無理だよ。
You can't.
戻ってこれなく
You
なっちゃ
won't
う
be
よ。
able to come back. Won't be able to come back. Huh? He's right. This is 1998 and I'm Ushiromi Enge who have been left all alone. At first, it was a journey to die, but not anymore. It has become a journey to accomplish something.
うん。
Yeah.
だからごめんね。
So I'm
二人と
sorry,
も
you two.
あの日の私なら
As I was back then
何も
on
戸
that
惑わ
day,
ずに
I would
こ
have
の崖
been,
を
I
降り
would
るだ
have
ろう
gone
けれど
down this cliff without any hesitation.
ビルの屋上から
Come
飛び降
on,
りた
this is
後ろ
pretty
にレンジ
lame
が
for a skyscraper jumping Ushiromi, for the skyscraper jumping Ushiromi
ご
Enge.
めんね。
Sorry.
ここでも同じ
This
だよ。
place is just as good
あの日の風
because you
が
can feel the
感
wind
じら
of
れる
that
から
day.
こんな
Was the wind
風だったっけ？
really like this?
うん。
Yeah.
もうすぐ来てくれる
It
よ。
will come any
みん
moment.
な。
Everyone. Sakutaro said as though it was completely natural, and I believed it. Mom, Dad, Oni-chan, all of my relatives and those fun servants. And Maria One-chan.
私よ。
It's
エ
me.
ンジェよ。
It's Angel.
私は
I've
帰ってきたわ。
come back. When I started my final journey to expose the past of 12 years ago, its goal had been abstract. I hadn't understood. But now I have no doubts. This journey was induced by all kinds of thoughts and fates over 12 years. A journey to end things for me, Shiromi Enge. And a journey to end things as the final witch of Mariage Sorcière. I came here as the final daughter of the Ushiromiya family, and as the final witch.
お父さん、
Mom,
お母さん、
Dad,
お兄ちゃん、
Oni-chan,
ごめんね。
sorry.
先にマリアお姉ちゃんとの挨拶をさせてね。
A strong gust of wind from behind urged me on. That gust took just my soul out from my body and the vast forest beneath me. And though I could see it from where I stood, I couldn't see it from where I stood, I believed that it would fly me to the mansion on that day, to where everyone was, to where Maria One-chan was. And so, even though my body was at the top of the hill, a strong wind blew against me. My soul was now certainly dancing through that sky. The vast, vast sky of Rokkenjima. Below me was the green of many trees, but I can tell. I can comprehend the presence of my family and relatives and all the servants. And Maria One-chan too. I could even comprehend Maria One-chan as a witch. The vast, more vast than any space I had imagined up until now.
マリアお姉ちゃん、聞こえる？
Maria One-chan, can you hear me?
聞いて。
Listen! Anja shouted to the Maria of that day. That she had been through a long journey. That she had learned just how much she had wounded Maria on that day when she was young. Having understood magic, I now understand everything about the world Maria wanted to show me. It was so warm and overflowing with kindness and happiness. She had wanted me to become even happier by sharing that world. But I had trampled it.
だから私、
So now,
今こそ全部
finally
理解したの。
understand everything.
魔法を
I
理
understand
解した
magic.
私たちの魔法
Our
はきっ
magic
と
is surely a very
と
humble
ても
thing
ささや
that
かで、
exists
身
all
近に溢れ
around
てる。
us.
でも
But it isn't
それ
something
は
that just
誰の目
anyone
にも
can
見えるも
see
ので
with
は
their
ないのよ。
eyes.
魔法とは、
Magic is...
え
Yes,
はっき
I
り言
can
え
see
る
it
わ。
clearly. Without love, it cannot be seen. I'm sorry, One-chan. I've already been excommunicated from the Witches' Alliance, but after all this time, I can now understand how wonderful it is. And I know that after that day I wounded you, Mariage sorcière was transfigured into something different from you, what you truly desired. Back in those days, even magic that allowed you to vent your anger by cursing people was probably important to you. Your environment was unhappy enough for you to be allowed that.
でももう
Now,
そんな悲
those
しい日々は
unhappy days are
終わ
over.
ったよ。だから
So,
お姉ちゃんの魔
let's
女同盟
return to the
を
Witches
元
Alliance.
の
Back to the
優
original,
しいマリアージュ
gentle
ソルシエルに
mariage sorcière. The grimoire was in my hands without me realizing it. The strong winds were rapidly blowing through the pages one after another. He had been a kind world at first. What to do to create magic so that candy rains from the sky? What to do to create magic so that tomorrow's dinner becomes cream croquettes? What to do to create magic that tomorrow's weather is good when you go out and when you have a fun day? New magics of happiness were created one after another, coloring the world with kindness. Those days were flipping through one after another, and the days and months began to flash like memories. Pages with drawings that were colorful gradually changed into pages colored only with black ink. Eerie magic circles and demon summonings, evil magic for harming people. What to do to create magics so the class bully catches a cold? What to do to create magic so that you know who in class gets seriously injured and dies? What to do to create a magic so that the bus with all the bullies on it falls off a cliff? Malicious magics were created one after another, filling the pages and her heart.
私がお姉ちゃんを
Because I
傷つけ
hurt
たから
you.
マ
Nature,
リアージュソルシエル
the
は
mariage
こんなに
sorcière
なって
ended
しまっ
up
た。
like this.
お姉ちゃんは
You
黒き邪
weren't
悪
a
な魔
black
女じゃな
evil
い。
witch.
白き
You were a white,
無
pure,
垢で無邪気
innocent,
な優しい魔女だったの
kind
よ。
witch.
私が
I'll
元に
return
戻して
you
あげ
to
る。
how you were
元の
originally,
みんなを
and you
幸
were
せにする魔
scattering
法を
magic to make people
世界中
happy
に振
across
り
the
まいていた
entire world.
マリアお姉ちゃんに
I'll
戻して
turn
あ
you
げる。
back into the marionette, into that
そのために
marionette.
私は
That
こ
is
こ
the
へ来た。
reason I came here.
運命に導
I
かれ
was
てきた。
guided by
お姉
fate.
ちゃん、
Nathan,
聞こえて
can
る？
you hear me?
その姿を
Show yourself
私の前に見せ
before
て。
me. That voice rode an ever stronger wind and was sent 12 years into the past. Then the wind gradually ceased and fell silent. Crunch, crunch. I could hear the sound of gravel being stepped on. I heard those footsteps and was surprised at that miracle. Without a doubt, those were marionettes. Those footsteps were marionettes.
マリアお姉ちゃん、
かすみよ。
Kasumi,
ようやく見つけたわよ。
looks like I
ENG
finally
ITA.
found you, huh? ENG ITA.